Ty Domi your captain.
The funniest thing ever to me, and I guess it makes sense because Brad's a really nice guy outside of the rink. Brad Marchand is the voted captain for the Hockey is for Everyone. He's the voted rep for Hockey is for Everyone. Every team has a representative for the Hockey is for Everyone thing. And Brad Marchand is ours, which is really funny. But yeah, like he's like, and from what I've read, he's like super into the role, you know.
Morty.
Which is really funny because he's just this little hateful piece of shit. But yeah, he's like...
That's a good description.
I love that.
Little hateful piece of shit.
I love the...
So, you know, a Frenchman.
I love the Hockey is for Everyone thing. That's like one of the reasons why hockey is my favorite sport is because they've taken... And
they go out of their way.
You got to give Bettman credit for a couple things, and that's one of them. Like the trying to get the league more popular, which is working.
It is.
And yeah, you know, he's responsible for largely like taking a lot of the aggression out of it. But
that's something that's never going to go away from the sport, though. From
any contact sport, you're never gonna, as long as people can make an argument for player safety, you're never gonna see that disappear. But you got to give him credit for the Hockey is for Everyone thing because he's and not just that, but like he's actively making the effort to popularize the sport stateside and, you know, in places where it wouldn't really be watched, like Nashville.
Yeah, right.
Or, you know, Carolina for that matter. Carolina, who like 3 years ago had the lowest attendance rate in the NHL, was like an average of like 5,000 people were showing up to those games.
Ugh. Oh, really?
And like a 24,000 seat arena.
Christ.
Yeah. But like last year they were in the top 5, if I remember correctly, for like attendance.
Wow.
Just by like get good and people will show up. You know what I mean? Like that's, you know.
Yeah.
And there's enough parity in hockey for that to happen to any team. That's why I like year after year I keep an eye on the Canucks. Yeah. Because like one of these years they're going to take the entire league by storm and it's going to be cool.
It is going to be cool. Yeah. Same with the Jets. I think that was one of the smartest moves that Bettman could have made is like bringing the Winnipeg Jets back to Winnipeg because it's just all is not right with the world if there's not hockey in Winnipeg. They were the 3rd city that won the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Any team where there's like history there.
It's weird to see that go away.
Yeah. And those fans were like, I remember the first year that they were in the playoffs. It was like their 2nd or 3rd year back. And they made it to game 6 and then just got crushed in game 6. And that crowd was on their feet the whole time. Like never stopped cheering. Let's go Jets. Like just, you know, and then when the buzzer sounded and the other team won, they still like gave a standing ovation to the other team and then to their guys. Like they were just so happy that there was hockey back again. That's like, nice. I mean, yeah, it's like, it's something you just don't.
That's magic.
Yeah. You don't see that in other sports. Like when the Rams moved back to LA, there's no market for football in LA. No. That's what I don't get it. Cause there's no like to take the Chargers away from San Diego and moreover to take,
what a fucking...
To take football out of St. Louis, who like the entire reason they moved football out of Los Angeles in the first place is because there wasn't a market for it in LA. Yeah. Like
they just don't care about it. People
weren't showing up to see the Rams play in LA. Like they just, you know, St. Louis was the logical choice, you know? And then obviously look what they did with it. Like, you know, the greatest show on turf, you know, when Kurt Warner was still around.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just, I don't know. It's sad. And like the biggest travesty of all is that Oakland is no longer going to have football. If there's no football team in Oakland, something is seriously wrong.
They're going to take
they're moving them to Vegas.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Which from like a money standpoint, I understand because there is a market for sports in Las Vegas. Yeah. Obviously.
All in every sport.
Right. And like if the Knights have proved anything, it's that people are going to show up to any sporting event you put in Las Vegas and they're going to show up in droves and they're going to be rabid.
Yeah.
Because the Knights, I think, were fueled purely by that sellout crowd. I don't think they didn't sell out one game. like through that whole first season.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
The hype was on them for a long while there.
And they already have, like, they're already huge rivals with the Sharks, more so than like Sharks in LA have been.
Well, LA hasn't been a contender since like 2013.
Right. Yeah. But it's like they already have, there's already enough story there for there to be a big rivalry between those two teams.
And that's fucking exciting.
That is super exciting. And I hope Seattle is going to be the same way. The logical rivalry for Seattle, I think, is Winnipeg. And I think that would be what both franchises need. Because they're, you know what I mean? They're going to be so close.
Or they get in the mix with Calgary and Vancouver and get that sort of thing
lift
going.
that division up, you know? Like, like bring that back to prominence. Hi, everybody. I'm sorry. We just kind of went on a sports ramble there.
Welcome to Three Dudes Sports Talk. Suck it, Stephen A. Smith.
Fuck you, Stephen A.
Sports.
Fuck
sports,
you
sports.
even more when you're right. I want everybody to know I'm hosting this week for the Three Dude Cast, and we're going to take it nice and easy. It's going to be a nice, easy episode.
Nice, buttery, smooth episode.
I want you guys to know the original topic that I had planned was crying. So I was gonna I'm serious. I was gonna have crying be the topic, the best cries that you had. We're not gonna do that. We're gonna go nice and easy. Well, it's not. We're gonna go nice and easy.
Let's not do that. I'm having a really good day. I'm gonna keep that train rolling.
Yeah.
Man,
Lordy.
wow.
Well then,
we are really into the thick of it now, aren't we?
thick with 2 C's. Speaking of which, you guys see that fucking fog this morning?
Mm-hmm. No, I didn't go anywhere today.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's
right. You know what? It was like the last couple days have been really I had a super. I told you guys I had a super depressive day yesterday where I just didn't do anything and I felt like a worthless piece of shit.
That's kind of what I did yesterday.
Until I cooked something, I felt Dan was right. I felt better when I cooked dinner because I usually feel better when I start cooking something.
Making something feels really good, no matter what it is. If it's dinner, or if it's an IKEA thing,
if it's a bomb,
if it's my sick new drum kit sitting in the other room, dude, bought a drum kit.
We actually probably should record you play that at some point.
Yeah, it's probably not a bad idea.
Fun.
My music is all over this shitty podcast.
Yep.
For those of you who don't know, that's me playing the guitar and the intro and in the outro, I guess too.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Actually,
playing the guitar, and then because we didn't have a bass at the time, I used the whammy pedal to
to be its own bass.
Its own bass on my guitar, and I made the fartiest bass tone possible.
It was fairly farty.
And then Ben did the drums for the outro track.
Yeah, just fucking Sony. God, it's been so long since I've used it. Whatever their mixing software is.
I don't know.
Oh my God,
it's not Ableton, right?
Ableton. Thank you.
Ableton?
It is Ableton. Okay. Jesus Christ! It's been so long since I entertained the whole I want to be a DJ thing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And the thing is, only because of Goose Chase have I written anything in any sort of MIDI software in a long time.
Yeah.
It's only because of Goose Chase that I've even picked that thing up.
Part of the cool thing I bought an electric drum kit, incidentally, for people listening. Part of the cool thing about that is that one of the big reasons to get an electric drum kit is it has the MIDI tones on it, so you can make a MIDI drum sound out of it.
You could take all of that and export it to something like FL Studio and then put whatever drum sounds on it you want.
Yeah, and then play that whole MIDI back in the Windows XP media player while you're on the MSN Game Zone.
Isn't it so weird that MIDI is still around?
Bonzi Buddy is hollering at you.
MIDI is still around, and so many things are not still around.
Yeah, right.
Were, super big back then.
MIDI shouldn't still be around.
Macromedia Shockwave.
Yeah. Oh God, Shockwave. I forgot about that. Rockwave with the Shockwave. I don't know.
Yeah, MIDI's weird though because it's that was when I got a computer in '96. MIDI files were oh, it's like music, but not. and now it's still kind of like music, but not. You need something to interpret all those notes and make it sound cool.
Yeah, something to play in the background of your GeoCities page with animated gifs of dancing presidents.
Right.
I was on Homestead.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Homestead.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I do remember Homestead.
Apparently, the GeoCities archive is out there. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah,
before
really?
GeoCities went
I've
down,
heard of
someone
it.
scraped the whole thing. or close to it. Maybe not everything. I'm not sure.
Probably not everything.
Yeah.
Like the Wayback Machine doesn't even have everything.
Right.
Anyway. Sorry. Is anybody?
Entropy.
Like I said, this is gonna be an easy episode. Anybody feeling fucked this week?
I got one.
Yeah.
I got one. This is the specifics of this story don't matter.
Okay.
They don't matter in that, like, whatever. So let me explain. So
Please dive into great detail.
I was reading the news today. I came across an article.
Oh boy.
And it said,
Little Beatles joke.
Peanuts cause cancer.
so it said, Betsy DeVos may face jail time due to the fact that, and then I started to read into it, and I already forget, but basically something she did that violated some other order when she did it, doesn't matter what. It said Betsy DeVos may face jail time. And the reason we're fucked is within 4 seconds, I was like, no, she won't.
No, she won't. Yeah, right. Of course not.
I actually said it out loud to myself.
Yeah, right.
I went, no, she won't. She's rich.
Yeah, right.
And that's why I feel fucked is it shouldn't be that quick and easy to come to the determination that someone who did something wrong definitely won't ever see the inside of a jail cell.
Right.
Sure.
Because of how rich they are.
If anybody's ever seen the movie Goodfellas, that's a perfect example of what it's like when you have power, influence, and money.
Yeah.
Those guys, you know what I mean? There's the famous scene in Goodfellas where they're like, they all get arrested and they're going to jail, but they go to like white collar jail and they're allowed to have their own little dinner room.
Yeah.
And like they're like,
Yeah, they have a great fucking time
they're
making
like,
their own dinners.
yeah,
and
they're
everything.
frying steaks and making sauce and they have wine and bread.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like they're, you know. I think Ray Liotta's character even says, you know, we weren't in there with those other animals. We, you know, like, you know, like it's just, you know, they're doing their own thing. And that's really Wolf of Wall Street, another perfect example. Jordan Belfort's at prison and he's playing tennis.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You know, that's white collar jail. That's what money and influence will buy you.
It's ridiculous.
You know? Yeah, it is ridiculous. Meanwhile, if you're a black male who's 17 years old and you need to pay your rent and you have to sell a dime bag of pot because there's no other way to get a job anywhere.
Well, mandatory minimums. Womp, womp.
5 years. Here you go.
It's fucking embarrassing.
It is fucking
It is.
embarrassing.
It's a huge joke.
It is. The justice system in the U.S. isn't about justice; it's about revenge.
Correct.
Is what it is.
Yeah.
And if you can prove that you have some kind of subjective value to society, you can avoid that revenge.
Yes.
Well, you have to be able to. I mean, that value often comes in the form of money or the ability to generate more money.
You're clearly, you've clearly earned all that money because self-determination is a huge part of the American ideal, even if real life doesn't fucking work that way.
I do wonder if we're at the beginning of like a slightly different era of thinking about money, like how we think about money.
God, I hope so.
Yeah.
Between the stuff that I think I told you guys about that was encouraging with regards to corporate citizenship,
Morty.
Right? There's like a increased interest in not just driving profits, but also all the different stakeholders when it comes to your company matter. Right.
Right.
But then there's also like what Zuckerberg this last week said something specific to the effect of like nobody deserves to have $1 billion.
Yeah, I read that and I'm like, I don't agree with that. Like,
I do agree with that.
Do you really?
I agree that no one deserves that much money. Because what can you do that actually deserves that?
I think the thing is, if you've earned it, okay. And Zuckerberg did
what's earning it?
Maybe some questionable shit to get there, but like I guess he had money because he went to Harvard.
Yeah,
but like,
he started with something.
But he built that. But he did build that fortune. I think if you take a guy like Warren Buffett, again, came from a certain amount of wealth, but he didn't come from that much wealth,
right? And he's also he's another guy that is like actively giving away his money because he doesn't think he should have that much.
Bill and Melinda Gates too, same thing. Yeah, there's a huge pact among a lot of different billionaires too.
It's sort of telling.
Yeah,
that the people, that a handful of people that get to that level stop and go, wait a minute,
what am I doing? Yeah.
How the fuck is this? How is this earned?
Yeah, right.
How is this deserved? Like, how much harder do you have to work than another human being to justify earning $1 billion?
Yeah. Well, I mean, but like if it's coming to you, I don't know, man. I don't think it's fair to take that money away from certain people.
I kind of do.
I think if you okay, how about the kids who built Snapchat, right?
Yeah, okay.
multi-million-dollar company built it from the ground up, or Apple even for that matter. And again, Steve Jobs said well-known piece of shit. But like those guys built that company, and Jobs was the driving force, like at least the media presence behind it. Like,
Right.
I don't think it's fair to just like give an 85% tax to those people just because you're not rich.
Well, okay, so what does that tax really look like in practice, though? I mean, we're not really taking like 85% of $1 billion.
No, but
away.
what I'm saying is like that's what a lot of candidates are suggesting. That's
why does Steve Jobs deserve $1 billion more than Mr. Rogers?
That's a valid point. Again, that's the tough thing to reckon. But like,
why don't we reward moral success in the same way that we reward capitalistic success?
Yeah, some things are not as
Government.
not incentivized.
Government and
There's not a market for it.
Yeah, in pure capitalism, we're not in a pure capitalistic society, obviously.
Yeah.
But in pure capitalism, you are not incentivized to be good to other people.
correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, kind of sort of in our society too. I don't know.
We live in a society.
We live in a society. I kind of sort of have a problem with just lifting money away from people because you're mad that they're rich.
No, it's not that though.
It's not that you're mad that they're rich. It's that when a large concentration of wealth is within like a handful of people, and there are people who are undernourished in America.
Yeah,
like we're supposed to be a better country than that.
It's that the system is wrong now.
I agree with that.
It's that the system is flawed now. It's not taking something away from the. It's a thing that they shouldn't be keeping all of in the first place.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
That's what bugs me the most.
But the problem there boils down to like, is it any of your fucking business what they do?
Yes, because we're the ones that work for them. Of course, it's our business.
I don't know. I think I disagree with that. Incidentally, this is where I'm more moderate than you guys.
Yeah. No,
I can tell.
I guess so.
Yes. Yeah. This is just what I mean.
If you don't have a healthy, productive, happy, and not starving workforce, the thing collapses from the ground up.
That's true.
If you don't make that wealth redistribute itself, they'll keep it for themselves, and society fucking collapses.
Which is why trickle-down economics has never worked.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Speaking on some level, it is an existential problem for us. We have to solve the problem of this, inequality. It has to be solved.
We've been trying for thousands of years.
I think that's why guys like Andrew Yang are so intriguing, because he's talking about trickle-up economics.
Yeah, I fucking really like him. He's really interesting.
Yeah, early recommendation. Go watch him talk at a town hall.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
This idea of like a human-based measurement of like how we're succeeding as an economy is very interesting to me.
Oh, sorry.
Very good.
Like you said, he's never going to get in. There's literally no way.
He won't win.
He won't win. Yeah,
but he is starting a very interesting conversation. The fact that like we should not simply measure our economy by how our GDP is looking, but like by tangible measures of whether people are happy and fulfilled and fed and like all of these things.
Warren, Bernie Sanders. I think it started with Bernie Sanders last election cycle.
Yeah.
And really, if you're taking it from the moderate libertarian standpoint, I think you could even trace a lot of that back to Ron Paul.
Yeah. You probably could.
Back in 2012, because Ron Paul was like not a Republican candidate.
No.
And he had my support. I liked Ron Paul a lot. I didn't agree with everything he said, but he did make some interesting points that, oddly enough, you're starting like the crazy far left and the libertarians often agree on a lot of things in a weird way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's because it's not a line. It's a circular.
Right.
You could loop back around.
And yet, still nobody is talking about the best candidate, Vermin Supreme.
Yes, Vermin Supreme with the boot on his head.
God,
look up Vermin Supreme.
He is a Fey elder.
I wonder what he's doing right now in the middle of the Brexit nonsense. Or no, he's not a British guy, is he?
That's he's American.
That's Lord Buckethead.
Lord Buckethead.
Lord Buckethead is British. Vermin Supreme is 100% American. 1,000% American.
Horses for everybody?
He's probably eating Chipotle and getting high.
Something about fluoride.
Yeah, fluoride.
Yeah, everyone gets a pony.
Everyone gets a pony.
No, it's something about dentistry.
A simple platform of ponies for everybody.
Yes. Yeah, the candidate America needs and deserves.
Vermin Supreme.
And
Vermin Supreme.
I'm going to throw a name at you. Ross Perot.
Yeah.
Ross Perot, everybody fucking laughed at Ross Perot.
He was a huge joke to most people.
Yeah.
Literally everything that Ross Perot said that was going to happen in the next 30 years when he was on TV
Yeah.
debating with Clinton and Bush Sr.
Yeah.
happened.
Yep.
Exactly how he said it was going to happen. And everybody shit all over him because he was this crazy, like, rich guy.
Yeah, well, he had a funny voice. He had a funny nose. He had a silly way of talking.
Let me tell you now.
Yeah, he had a little high voice.
I mostly remember Amanda Bynes impersonating him on all that when I was too young to understand who Ross Perot was.
Didn't she insist on saying, can I finish?
Can I finish? Can I finish?
Someone else.
Can I finish? That was Ross Perot. That was, can I finish?
Can I finish?
Listen, again, and everybody made fun of his little dumb charts that he would come on when he would, like,
Yeah, he brought visual aids.
Sure. Okay, but like the American people are stupid.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
they're
Like,
still stupid.
Think of the brilliance of that. The American people are dumb. He brought visual aids for people who didn't get it.
Yeah.
And like everybody made fun of him because he gets shit on all over the media. But like,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. He was right about a way more than anybody gave him credit for being right about. He was right about a lot of stuff.
So anyway, why were you fucked, Dave?
I'm fucked because it took me 2 seconds to decide a rich person will never see the inside of a jail cell.
Right.
And that really upsets me.
Now that is where like I said, I'm a little bit more moderate than you guys are. And by a little bit more moderate, I mean you guys are like here, and I'm like here. If here's the middle, so I'm like right.
Yeah.
I'm like right.
That's
here.
accurate.
Yeah, fair enough.
Just to the right of you guys. I think.
Yeah.
I would say so.
Yeah, I think.
Anyway, what I'm really saying is eat the rich.
But you're right. Yeah, eat the rich. Yeah, and like it's really shitty that's the state of the world, not just this country, but like the world.
It's not getting better. So it is getting worse.
So real talk. Would you, if you had the opportunity and everything was consensual, would you eat cooked human meat?
Yes.
Would you actually do it?
Well, like, what's that look like? What's that consensual agreement actually look like?
Okay, so the scenario I often think of is like, let's say I'm in a horrific car accident and I lose like my left leg.
Yeah.
And I say like, hey, you mind if I keep that?
Yeah, this actually happened.
I'm pretty handy in the kitchen.
There was a guy that did this.
Yeah, so I'll slice a little ham hock off of what used to be my thigh. I'll slap it in a frying pan, add some, maybe some paprika, some thyme, or fuck it, some New Orleans barbecue seasoning.
You want to smoke that leg.
Yeah, I'll really grill that up. My leg bone's still like right in there.
Put some hickory wood on the old
There's
smoker.
no way I'm not putting that in the smoker.
Yeah, right.
Like for many, with the foot still on, if you don't mind.
Like 18 hours.
Like it's my leg, right? Yeah. I can see what it tastes like if I want to.
It's so fine for you to do it.
Yeah.
And as long as you let other people know, why shouldn't they be able to taste your leg?
Right, yeah. Like put something up on Craigslist like, hey, I lost a leg. They let me keep it.
Okay.
Here's the great part. It's probably going to go really well with Sweet Baby Ray's.
No, I was going to say, here's the second part. Is it... Okay, so you know how, like, if you ask a chef for steak sauce, that's rude.
Yeah.
If you ask for condiment... If I go to taste your leg and I go... Can you pass that barbecue sauce? Are you offended that I didn't like your leg enough?
Probably because here's the thing.
You gotta try it by itself first.
Yeah.
I'm 290 right now, right?
Okay.
And I'm fairly sedentary, so a lot of my body fat is like down. So I'd imagine my thighs are pretty marbled.
Okay. Maybe, yeah.
I would imagine my thigh would be a pretty nicely marbled cut of meat.
If you're not working them too much, they're probably not too stringy.
See, but you're bipedal though, so that's a lot of work in that muscle.
It is.
You're gonna I think if you're gonna do it, you got to dry age it a little first.
Sure.
Like you wrap it in butter and then saran wrap and let it sit in the fridge for like a couple weeks, and then just let that get tender. Cut the bad parts off, and then you smoke it. You salt it.
Implying I have bad parts.
Yeah.
I would taste your leg.
I would definitely eat human meat if everything was on the up and up.
Everything's on the up and up. Everything's cool. Everything's kosher. We got a medic on standby in case the prions start eating my brain.
Yeah,
I'm good. I'm good to try it.
If it's your own leg, it's probably not like that, is it? Or is it? I don't know. How
Probably
that works.
not. I've tasted my own blood. It's fine.
Yeah,
I think everybody's at least
Punched in the mouth before.
Yeah.
Tasted my blood. It's fine.
it's fine.
So
Anyways,
Are you feeling fucked, Ben?
Yeah, I'm feeling fucked because I one thing I'm learning about my job is that any job is that I at some point learned to be self-conscious about how I perform.
yeah.
And a lot of that ties into how much work am I doing? How many times do I have to say I don't know? And I realize this is my first year in what I hope is going to be a new career. There's still a lot I got to learn.
Yeah.
But I hate saying that I don't know something.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's going to cause a loss of confidence.
You wouldn't believe how often the dudes that do that job, even like in my office, the dudes that like are there to do IT,
Yeah.
will immediately. I'll watch them go to Google immediately because they don't know either.
Right, but that's
Nobody
the thing.
knows.
That's the thing is like I'm trying to tell myself like it's much better to admit that I don't know than to pretend to know and fuck something up.
Absolutely.
Well, yes,
Absolutely.
but it's also like the third option is to tell someone you'll look into it.
I don't
and not do
know, but I
anything right
will
now.
find out.
Yeah, that's significantly.
That's been my policy.
Because this is the difference between an IT employee and a normal employee in any workplace. The IT employee is willing to go the extra mile to figure it out. If something
Ideally, yes.
yeah, if something went wrong with something at work, we have a line that we call to help fix that for us.
Yeah.
Because oddly enough, in a place full of people who are into tech, none of us are willing to go through the hassle of trying to fix it.
Right.
Yeah, that's something I wonder too. Do like software development place? Well, yes, of course they do. They have their own IT departments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
These are presumably people that spend a lot of time on the computer, but will still need IT for something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I work with a bunch of software engineers, and
Yeah.
their own machines are largely their own business. They largely maintain them. They actually don't rely on IT very much.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, they're software engineers. They have a certain amount of expertise.
Right.
Right. But yeah, we have an IT department. It services a lot of the other people and sometimes the engineers.
Yeah, because you got like sales and stuff.
Yeah, we got all kinds of varying levels of know,
Yeah.
familiarity. So
Yeah, I don't know. It's just the more I learn about all the different subfields of IT, the more I realize how much I don't know and the less confident it makes me. So I'm fucked because I can't focus on the things I do right. I never could. I know it's a weakness.
I can't either. Yeah. I have a hard time with that.
yeah, I can only kind of chew on my failures.
But then
I think a lot of that is being a millennial, like being
maybe.
in our age group. It's just
yeah.
it's something that we haven't seen since like the post hippie era, where like the first time people realized that the American dream was a lie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like we're getting like round 2 of that in this generation.
Yeah, I think so. A certain kind of cynicism.
Yeah. Just ingrained.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm fucked because it's getting in the way of me being productive when I might not be having a very productive day. You know, today was a really productive day. I was busy all 8 hours of today.
That's cool.
And I felt really good at the end of it. I was like, all right, yeah, I still got this. Like fucking bring it on.
Yeah.
But there are days where I'm not so productive. I'll have a project to work on and I'll be picking at it. But, knowing that if I don't know, it's shit I got to work through, but it's still stuff that makes me every once in a while
Second guess.
be hesitant about going into work.
Yeah.
And that makes me nervous because that's what made me quit my last job.
Correct. Yeah.
Because I didn't think I was good enough at it.
No.
Oh, you cannot let yourself go there with
Yeah.
this job.
On this job, no.
No. Absolutely not. And I keep telling myself that.
You're absolutely good enough for
that. But I know objectively I'm a lot better at this job than I was at being an instructor.
And here's the thing.
I can't teach people shit.
The thing is, I think
especially if it's a demographic that doesn't have much interest in being taught. Correct. A lot of the time. Yeah. There are some that do, but there's a lot that don't.
Right.
They want to hang out, they want to do their cross stitching. And that's fine. I just don't know what to do with that.
Sure. Right.
And feel good about the work I'm doing.
Sure. And the thing is, I think you were also good at your last job. Even if you don't feel like it, I think you were probably better than anybody else that we know would have been. Certainly better than me. Like, you know what I mean? I think what it boiled down to with your last job was that you just... Number one, you weren't making any money doing it.
No, that was a big thing.
You were working purely on like how rewarding it was, which I super understand.
Yeah, until it's not.
Until it stops being rewarding.
Until it stops being rewarding again.
And for some people, it never does stop being rewarding, and more power to those people.
But for the large majority, correct me if I'm wrong, it super stops being rewarding very quickly. Mm-hmm. You managed to make it a lot longer in that position than it's. Like I said, certainly I could.
I was there just shy of 6 years.
Yeah. I'm super impatient. Okay, to put that in perspective, I've been at Best Buy for 6.5 years. So, like, you know what I mean?
I could never do retail. It's one thing. It's one thing for like folks with special needs where if there's some kind of tension or aggression, you know, it's not completely that person's fault.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
But for the general population,
absolutely.
If someone in retail is rude, like I wouldn't be able to do it. I would just snap right back at them and get fired.
Oh yeah. Well, dude, no, you won't get fired because the thing is, there's a certain level of shit that you have to be willing to eat. Because I've told people before, like, there's just a way to do it. There's a certain way to do it, and you have to be skilled enough at it to word it properly. And usually the way to do that is I'm just trying to help you out. There's no need to be rude. If you're going to keep being rude, I'm not going to work with you anymore. That's usually what it boils down to. Mm-hmm. I had to do that again the other day. I told somebody I was going to hang up the phone on them if they were going to keep being rude to me.
Yeah, you do have a certain amount of power in that regard, don't you? Like
you're calling me, or you're like here to work with me.
Yeah,
like,
you have the obligation to refuse to help.
Absolutely.
Someone. Yeah.
I dare somebody like above me to come after me for that. If I'm like just. I understand if I'm like being a piece of shit and I'm like swearing at somebody, but if I'm just like not willing to put up with your shit and I tell you that I'm not willing to put up with your shit, I don't see you should never be in a position where you're eating somebody's shit.
Yeah. Unless you're into that.
You know, unless you're the coprophagia.
You should never be in a position where you're eating someone's shit.
Never be the Smith family, minus the dad. How long y'all been eating poop?
We have never eaten poop. The funniest thing about that to me is that he says minus the dad.
Minus the dad.
The Smith family, minus the dad.
It's a really weird way to say that.
It's really funny.
So anyway,
I guess I'm fucked for similar reasons. Although, I guess it's very, very similar. I'm like at this point where I've talked about it before on the show where I'm like I'm frustrated at work and I'm like I'm getting better. Yeah. But like for me, a lot of this is coming to the point where I have to reconcile with myself what I'm doing wrong, which is a lot more maturity than I'm comfortable, you know what I mean, having.
Right.
Like, you know, coming to the realization that I am also part of the problem. Like, and being able to like turn, especially in a job like where I'm at, where it's sales, like being able to turn my attitude around is very tough. And I feel like I have these spurts of it where I'm like, and there's a lot of stuff that I'm not going to get into here, like in the background. Like I feel like I'm not getting paid enough, and you know, which who doesn't? You know, everybody feels like they could be making more money.
Yeah.
But like, you know, part of the problem is definitely me, and I feel like I have to be able to reconcile that and not fight everything, and you know what I mean.
Okay.
I don't know how to put it. Like,
it's really hard to talk about this without being specific, isn't it?
I can be, you know what? I can be specific because the people I work with who listen to this podcast are going to understand. Like, you know, I'm one of those people who like, I have to have you be brutally honest with me. I prefer honesty.
Yeah.
Always. And if that's brutal and if that hurts my feelings and if I get mad about it, then that's on me to take that how it is. But if like your perception is something that I don't like, I would rather hear that than have something danced around.
Yeah.
And I'm to this point now where I work, where the people that are around me and the people that are above me, for the most part, are people who are willing to tell me, you know what I mean, the way it is, which I have not had. Like it had not been my experience in the past where someone would sit me down and, you know, be like, okay, this is how it is now.
Yeah.
So it's frustrating because like I haven't had that for so long, and I'm one of those people who's like super strong-willed and like super opinionated at work, and you know, I would be a great union person, like in the 70s. You know what I mean? Like when unions were in full swing. Yeah. I think I would be an excellent union rep. Like when unions mattered. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
I think I would be a really great union rep because I think I would be the guy who would go to bat for people a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you absolutely would.
Yeah. But like the thing is, when you're not in that situation, you come across as an asshole a lot of the time. And I have to reconcile with the fact that a lot of times I come off way stronger than I mean to be. And I have to be willing to learn and overcome that. And I'm having a hard time with it.
Okay.
So that's why I'm fucked. Because I feel like it got to the point where at my job, I felt like I was being taken for granted and I was being shit on for so long.
Yeah.
And the part of that is the retail mentality, because you have a lot of other people who also feel the same way, and it's just that path of negativity.
Yeah, it's we all pull together.
We all pull together. We all, you know, and everybody kind of feeds into that, and everybody's talking shit about everybody, and that's part of it.
Right.
And like, everybody falls for that to some degree, but like, there's a point where like you have to be able to look yourself in the mirror and think like, what can I be doing better? And I've gotten to that point, and I'm just creeping my way there, but it's very hard to reconcile that because I don't think I'm mature enough to handle that information and do what I need to do to make that better.
But if brutal honesty is one thing you value,
yes.
why can't you value that from yourself?
I do value that for myself. Actually, I do value that from myself. But the problem is, I value that from myself when it's not directed at myself. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I value because that's the kind of person that I like to be friends with, is people who won't beat around the bush with me. That's the kind of people that I like to surround myself with, or people who are honest. Because to me, really brutal honesty, even if it stings a little bit, just means that you care. You know, in most circumstances.
In most circumstances. There are people who are brutally honest just to be edgy.
And to be a dick, right.
Yeah.
Which is not something that I want to do. And I've done that. I've said shit before that, like, you know, has bordered on, like, no, you're just being an asshole. And you got to be willing to, like back off on that. But, like, the thing is, and again, this is not a job that I expect to be at forever. I know. I'm sorry.
I would hope not.
Yeah, it's not like, and that's another part of it is like I feel like I'm not going anywhere there. And part of that is my fault. Part of that is not my fault. But you know, I have to be willing to reconcile and get better.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling really fucked because I'm not good enough at that yet. And I don't know if I'll ever be good enough at that yet, but I think that's maybe part of getting older is like being willing to play the game.
Yeah,
my boss told me something. My direct boss told me, like, you got to be willing to play the game. And I'm like, dude, I played the game for a long time and I didn't get anything for it. And he's like, you got to play the game differently. You know, and like I was pissed off about that. And then I went home and sat and thought about it. And I'm like, you know, he's not wrong. He told me he's like, look what I did. And I'm like, yeah, well, you know, did this and you did that. And then I thought, okay, yeah, he did this and did that, and that's he played the game.
Yeah, it's a question of what you really want out of your job.
Correct.
You know.
Yeah.
Do you want to climb? You want to climb the ladder. You want to be proud of your job. Are you lucky enough to have a job that lets you do both?
I just like to maybe not be so frustrated with the situation and myself, and I think a huge part of that starts with being mature enough to do everything I can to improve that experience. And if nobody else is helping me improve that experience, then I know that. But I want to be in a position where I'm able to look myself in the mirror and say that I did everything I could to be successful.
Yeah.
Before before it gets to the point where I'm just like, fuck everything.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? You want to come to that conclusion after you've done everything that you can.
Yeah. You don't want to go storming with any doubts in your mind.
Yeah. So I'm frustrated because I'm trying to, and like I said, I think it's a little bit of everybody's fault. But it starts, like, in my mind, it starts with me and what I can do to be better that I'm not doing.
Are you sure that you have not eaten enough shit?
I'm not. That's the other part of the problem.
There's lots of shit to eat.
I feel
different people.
I feel like I have. I felt like I had. But like that's part of life, though, right? Like, isn't that part of life is eating a lot of garbage on the way?
Yeah, just eating shit.
Right.
Part of life is also knowing when to stand up for yourself. You know, it's
I have that down.
It's a balancing act for sure.
I have that down.
But it's I see what you're writing down. But it's, it definitely is. It's a balancing act. Sometimes, it sucks, but you got to settle sometimes.
Yeah, and I'm not good with that. I think that's what it boils.
Yeah.
I'm super not good with that. Both in and like I'm not willing. It's so weird because I'm willing to settle a lot of things in my personal life. Like my wife. No, I'm just kidding. No, absolutely not.
No.
That is not true.
No.
That's just the worst possible thing you could say. So you went for it.
No, I am willing to settle a lot of like personal life. Okay, like good example. I'm one of those people where if they send me the wrong food out at a restaurant, I'm going to just eat it because number one, like I'm not going to get that mad about it because I just like food.
Yeah.
So as long as it's something that I like, I'm just going to be like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Things like that.
I'll eat it, but I'm not happy and I might not go there again.
Mild tenders
really?
instead of spicy
See,
tenders.
I'm not that. See, I'm just like, whatever. People make mistakes. I don't care.
No.
Yeah, especially people at fast food who are like overworked and underpaid.
Yeah.
I'll never complain.
They gave me mild instead of spicy tenders. It's fine. Whatever.
I'm not a complainer.
Yeah, but I'll be disappointed and I won't go there again.
Really? Oh, see, I'm not the guy. I'm just like, whatever. I like mashed potatoes too. I'm not picky. So like, I'm willing to settle on little stuff like that. But like when it comes to work, I feel like, and this is another thing. Like I feel like I'm just so like I'm willing to die on every hill.
Yeah,
and I'm like, that's not the way that like.
Well, you start to feel that way too. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I feel like if enough time goes by and enough bullshit lands on your doorstep, and enough times where you wanted this thing to happen and then it went a different way, you start to just be like, no, fuck it, I'm digging in because you have not pacified me enough.
With the way
here we are.
With the way a lot of jobs are in this country, not enough people dig it. Not enough people say, I deserve more for what I do.
Yeah.
Also, smiling and eating shit and continuing to, just go with the status quo does not necessarily mean things get better.
Sure.
And it doesn't even necessarily mean you feel better.
Sure. I know that. No, I understand that. But like, I know in my heart of hearts that there's more that I can be doing.
Yeah.
Just in general, just like not even in work, but like in life in general, to be like yesterday, I told you I was like super depressed and super bummed out. And I'm one of those people, like, I'm sure I have the clinical book definition of depression. I'm not sad at all.
Right.
But I have the clinical, like,
sadness doesn't always have to be a part
I have a hard time rolling out of bed in the morning, it's, kind of.
You don't enjoy things that you usually enjoy sometimes.
Sure, exactly. Right.
Yeah.
And that's the looking inward thing. Like, and that's really hard and really scary to do. Cause then I start asking questions like, okay, well, why don't you go out and try and exercise more? Why don't you try and do the things you like more?
Because it's hard and it's not as fun as a video game.
Yes, exactly. But the thing is, like, when I'm so depressed that I don't even want to play video games, I just want to like lay down and watch stuff on my phone, that's bad. Like if I don't want to go out anywhere or do anything, like
See, I drive myself crazy trying to plot my free time sometimes. Yeah. It's like, all right, when I get home, I want to do this. I want to do this. There's all this stuff that like I want to do outside of work. And I drive myself crazy and I stay up way too late trying to do it all.
Me too. Yeah, I do that too. See, the thing is, I stay up way late and then I feel like shit the next morning when I try and get up. And, you know, it's like it's a hard cycle. But a lot of that is like inward.
Yeah, but do you really owe 100% to the job you're at?
I don't think anybody owes 100% to most jobs that they're at unless it's something that you've built yourself.
Sure.
I don't think anybody anywhere owes 100% to any job unless it's your life's work and your passion and it's something that you've built yourself.
I guess I'm just saying if you come into work sleepy and yawning and
oh yeah, that's not the end of the world,
right?
That's not the end of the world, but it's like a matter of like, you know,
you could try looking a little more enthusiastic about your job. Yeah, well, you could try paying me more.
Right? Yeah, right. No,
fuck you, pay me.
But there is a line where it's like, you know, I gotta, just for my own positive mental health and my own sanity, I have to like,
yeah,
you know, like if you act positive and you try and go in with your best foot forward, you eventually that's got to improve your mood, right? Like, so that I don't know. That's why I'm fucked. I just feel like I feel like personally, I feel like I could be doing more for myself just at work and in general, and you know, try and lift my spirits a little bit. And
yeah.
It's tough. It's just a tough thing. It's not to like bring the mood down or anything.
No. I'm already feeling all this shit.
Yeah, that's why this is going to be a nice, easy episode for everybody.
The trick is finding those things, and when you find those things, you got to be, you know, on the ball enough to recognize, like, oh, hey, this makes me feel really good.
Yeah.
This is what I should be chasing after.
Yeah.
You know, beer, for instance. Beer makes me feel great.
Yeah, right. It sure does, doesn't it? Yeah, that's a problem. If that's your source of, but I get it. Like that's, you know, that's a huge source of joy for myself as well. So is cigars. So are most of the stuff that's bad for me. I really, really like. I really feed into that. But you know, and I mean, who do we know that doesn't drink more than they probably should? Do you know what I mean?
My wife.
Yes. Wow. Yeah, but the thing is, she can't.
She can't, but she didn't really before either.
Right. Yeah. My wife too. Yeah, my wife doesn't.
My wife. So should we?
Yeah, let's break.
Let's take a break because we've been going a really long time.
Like I said, this is gonna be. I don't have it as bad as it gets this week. We're just gonna go right into the topic and
groovy.
Just, you know.
Okay.
Oh, I do have that joke I wanted to tell her.
Oh yeah. So we'll do that.
Yeah, let's do that
when we come back.
When we come back. A joke that I've been hyping up and is probably gonna make people groan.
I like a good groaner of a joke.
Yeah,
especially the longer the joke is.
It's a decent length.
like when the
Ben, it's a decent length, Reese.
All right, on that, we'll take a break.
Welcome to the 3 Dude Podcast. Hey, yeah.
You can find us at 3dudecast.com.
If you're wondering whether that's spelled with the numeral 3 or the word 3, the answer is yes.
We're so proud of ourselves.
We're so clever. We're such clever boys.
Wow. We've switched hosting to Podbean. You can still find us on iTunes and Google Play. So give us a like.
Yeah, give us a like. Give us a listen. Give us a review somewhere.
Give us a sandwich.
Give us a high five.
Give us sponsorships.
Please give us a hug.
Give us that money. Welcome back, everybody.
Hey, what's up? We've been talking about China, and you don't want to hear it. You know what? Because you know what they say about those Chinese people. They can fly.
I have heard that.
Lesser known stereotypes.
Yeah, what was the one?
No, from the Onion movie.
Black people.
Yeah, black people love saltwater taffy.
Which I guess is objectively true, but like everyone loves saltwater taffy.
Saltwater taffy.
Peruvians are always swooping in at the last minute to save the day.
Yeah,
it's such a weird one.
That's a really weird
oddly
one.
specific.
And weirdly positive too.
Yeah, right. To say, and they do. If you've ever seen, spoiler alert for the end of the Onion movie, they do save the day at the end of the movie.
That's right.
Nice.
So we're back. Like I said, I don't have an as bad as it gets this week. I just didn't think of one. I'm sorry.
It's all right. It doesn't matter.
It's going to be an easy episode. I've said that already. It's going to be easy. It's going to be easy.
Easy like Sunday morning.
So I just realized there's a spider web right in front of your face.
Yeah,
Chris.
right. There's no spider attached to it, so we're good.
It's right. It's like 2 inches in front of your face this whole time.
Spider not home.
Please.
New web.
Believe
Who
it
dis?
or not, George isn't at home. Please leave a message at the beep.
I love that one.
Believe it or
Where
not,
could I be? Is that little face?
Where could I be?
Believe it or not,
I'm not home.
I was watching a bunch of old Seinfeld.
You know, I have it all on my Plex server.
I still don't watch. I've only ever seen clips.
Oh, really?
That's just one of the clips I've
You know
seen.
what?
I've
That's
never
like-
watched a full episode of
Let's
Seinfeld.
make a plan sometime soon here to watch like 2 or 3 episodes of Seinfeld.
Yeah, sure. Give me your viewer's choice for Seinfeld, and I will.
okay. that
Well,
easy.
I mean, you
I will
got,
watch
that's
that
super
with you.
easy because
We could do that tonight, even after the cast.
yeah, I think
be
everyone's
nice. Let's watch an
in
episode or
agreement
two.
that the bet is like one of the
Oh,
greatest.
the bet is the classic.
all agree.
I think
That's
we all
actually the
agree.
one you have to see.
Yeah,
The bet is
I'm out.
yeah, right. It's one of those things that like no one did anything remotely like it on TV before, and people were shocked and embarrassed that they did it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. You're right.
Okay, I'm into it. Let's watch it after the cast.
Okay.
Let's watch the bet after the
That
cast.
that's a good one.
I'm curious.
What was the TV show set that Kramer had?
He had the set of the okay. So what happens is Kramer goes up to a dumpster and finds in it the entire set for the Merv Griffin
That's
show.
it.
So what he does naturally is sets it up in his fucking apartment. Of course. And when people walk in, he's welcoming them on
He's
set.
smoking the cigar. It's really funny.
And they sit down dutifully in their seats and like,
yeah.
the shit.
it's really weird.
Wow, the episode where George did everything opposite.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't that where he got hired by the Yankees? For
Yes, he whatever his instinct was, he would
was
do
gonna
the
do the
opposite of
opposite.
that thing, and
Yeah.
he found his way to like
Yeah.
the prominent spot in the Yankees organization.
My name's George. I'm unemployed and I live with my parents.
He's just like super honest. There was one that was oh god, I just had it. There's one where Jerry is doing stand up, and he finds. He has a tape recorder he leaves in the audience to record the set and the audience and everything, and like sort of use it to evaluate
yeah.
himself. And when he goes to pick it up later, there's a woman talking real sultry and low into the tape recorder, saying like the dirtiest stuff, and it's driving him crazy. And he wants to figure out who she is, and that's all I want to tell you. That's
Yeah.
a really good
Okay.
one.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I want to watch. I want to watch one episode of your choice tonight at
Okay.
least.
It's got to be the bet. If you've
gotta
never
be the
seen the
bet.
bet, it's like
I've never seen any full episode of Seinfeld.
it's
It's
that
the
one.
bet.
It's outrageously funny.
Okay.
Still outrageously funny.
It really is.
Okay.
It's actually so timeless that It's Always Sunny did a clip show last season, and they were remembering their favorite memories, and they went, "Oh, remember the time we had the contest?" And they just reenacted the bet from Seinfeld with 2 Jerrys because there's too many cast
Yeah,
members.
right. Yeah, Charlie as Kramer is really funny.
He is very good. I'm out. Anyway,
So-
you have a joke for us in place of as good as it or as bad as it gets.
Yeah. Okay. So Chris just recently bought an electronic drum set.
Yes.
And it sounds really cool and it's really awesome. We were fucking around with it earlier.
Yeah.
But it reminded me of a dumb joke. So there's an anthropologist in deep in the Amazon rainforest interacting with this tribe of people. And they really like him. He really likes them. And he's learning an awful lot about their customs and traditions.
Okay.
And so he's even conversing with his guide, using some phrases in the native language, and things are going great. And then one day, he wakes up to the sound of a beating drum in the jungle. Boom, 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 boom. He gets up. He goes outside. Everyone in the village has stopped dead in their tracks. They're stock stiff in fear. They've gone pale. He goes up to this guy. He sees the guide like nervously looking around the tree line. He's like, what is this? What's going on? Is it a declaration of war? What is it? He says, no. The drums have started. We don't want them to stop. And he's like, why can't the drums stop? And he says, we should keep going. We should just keep going. I'll take you up the river. I'll show you where we trawl for fish. So they keep going the entire time. Boom, 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 boom. And his guide's looking around nervously, and he says, "Is it magic? Is it some kind of shamanistic ritual?" And the guide says, "Can't say. Too horrible. Up here is where we catch our trout." And so they disembark. The guide, learning how to trawl for fish the native way, and the guy seems to calm down even as the drums are pounding. Boom, 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 boom. He pulls a whole big load of trout in, sets it on the riverbank, and all of a sudden the drums stop. The celebration of his catch just goes deathly silent. Everyone goes stock stiff. He leans into his guide and he says, "The drums have stopped." The guide says, Yes, I know." And the anthropologist says, "What happens now?" And with mortal terror in his eyes, the guide turns to him and says, "Bass solo."
That's really weird. That's a great weird joke.
There you go.
I like that one.
Bring back the jokes.
Yeah.
I love that one because you can tell it whatever way you want.
Yeah, right.
You can build up as much drama and suspense as you want.
God, that's fantastic. I like that one. I didn't see that coming.
That's good.
So, we have a topic for today, don't we?
We do. Like I said, this is going to be. I had several other topics that I was bouncing around, but honestly, I think this is just going to be kind of a nice, coasty kind of episode.
Okay.
So if you guys are looking for something like super hilariously, uproariously funny, it's probably not going to happen in this episode. So,
well, you never know.
You never know. It could. It's we've definitely proven that wrong before. But I wanted to do a follow up for the State of the Union that we did over a year ago at this point.
Okay.
So I want to
Holy
do
hell.
State of the Union Part 2 because we're kind of again finding ourselves at another turning point, I guess here.
It kind of feels like it.
So and it kind of fits the mood for tonight where we're all just kind of like, eh. So, yeah, State of the Union. What's going on? I want to know what's going on in everybody's lives. I just got married, so
Yeah,
That's true.
super cool.
I was there, in fact. I saw it happen.
You were not a dry eye in the house, I would say.
No.
That was
No, except for
weepy
old
wedding.
except for old Dry Eyes Johansson.
But he can't help it. He's got a medical condition.
Yeah, but that won't stop us from giving him an awkward nickname.
Old dry eyes.
Old Dry Eyes, how is the gold in them hills looking?
He's off in the corner.
I told you I'm a software developer. I don't prospect for anything.
He's off in the corner doing eye drops going, ooh.
Oh, no, look, I'm sad. I'm crying. Oh, damn it.
Oh, Dry Eyes, we know you're faking.
Oh, Dry Eyes Johnson, it looks like there's stormy weather coming up the cliff. I wouldn't know. I don't spend a lot of time outdoors.
Dry eyes.
Old Dry Eyes Johnson.
Dry Eyes Johnson.
Yeah, it was good, man.
Default last name.
Everything has been really great. So
Yeah.
far, I've been married for a month and a day at this point now, so
Right.
that's cool.
How does it feel?
How does it feel? It feels really good. It feels
Yeah.
better than being almost married.
Yeah, you know what? The thing is, being
Yeah.
almost married lasts a really long time.
Sure does.
But then, like, once you're married, you're just married. You don't count the months until you do count the years, I guess. But
Yeah, you gotta do
like,
anniversaries and shit.
yeah.
You got the wood anniversary, the cotton anniversary, the smegma anniversary. You got the cheese anniversary, the fucking vodka anniversary.
Right.
The Soap Scum anniversary.
The Bob Evans mashed potatoes anniversary.
The uranium anniversary.
Right. Yeah, the Taco Bell cheesy gordita crunch anniversary.
The Rust-Oleum anniversary.
The Tostitos Fiesta anniversary.
The just a big bucket of clams anniversary.
The GoDaddy.com anniversary.
The live human sacrifice anniversary.
Yeah, it's fun. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, that one's great. Well, that's when
favorite
you've
is-
been married for 300 years.
Right.
So
Yeah, the Eldritch summoning anniversary.
yeah, where they bring you back and
Yeah. Everyone's bodies become one, and you
merge
experience
into the ultimate consciousness. And
the great wisdom of the cosmos.
Yeah.
Dread Cthulhu grants you his tentacly blessing. Yeah, good stuff.
all those good ones.
My grandparents did that. They came back with their eyes removed.
How romantic.
Good times.
They were popping it around on tentacles. It was horrifying.
Yeah. Yeah, horrifying.
Do
A
the
little
thing like-
heartwarming. We had corn.
Like from Beetlejuice, you remember the scene where she pulls her eyes out and she's doing the wiggly eye
right.
thing?
Oh yeah.
Ew.
I watched bits and pieces of that for the first time. Without going into too much detail, my fiance had to go to the hospital just for a little bit. I was sitting there, we were watching TV, and Beetlejuice was on. I've never seen Beetlejuice, so
Man, that's a great movie.
I caught like most of it.
Yeah, it's a good flick, man.
Yeah,
Weirdly featuring Alec Baldwin.
Yeah, right.
Just like Alec Baldwin as a Baldwin of the past, a very different Baldwin
Yeah.
than he is today.
and then that what's that guy? That guy from Ferris Bueller who got caught with child porn, didn't he?
What?
The principal from Ferris Bueller.
The
You know-
redheaded guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he got caught with child porn.
That
or
makes
something like
Beetlejuice
that.
a little weirder.
Yeah, yeah, it does.
That makes Ferris Bueller a little weirder.
Yeah, Grace.
I didn't know that.
Oh, Ferris Bueller has one of my favorite underappreciated comedy lines of all time, where he's like he got beat up or something. He's like his suit's torn up, and he like stumbles into a bar. He's like just about had enough of chasing Ferris around Chicago, and he goes there's a baseball game on the TV, and he says, "What's the score?" And the bartender says, "Nothing." He says, "Who's winning?" And the bartender just like slowly turns to him like, "The Cubs."
That's good.
You just reminded me of one of my favorite comedy lines ever. It's like it's a line in The Sopranos that's like super like this. You have to catch it on like watch throughs, like future watch throughs. It's like way in the second season. Remember Richie Aprile? Yeah. So he's like, Tony meets Richie at a mall. It's this guy who just got out of jail. He's like from the old guard, like 80s mob. And Tony's a boss now, and this guy gets out, and he's, this guy's dealing with the fact that Tony, who was like young and unimportant when he went away, is now the boss.
Right.
So they meet each other at a mall because Tony's trying not to be seen at any of the regular hangouts, with these guys. And he goes, he runs into Richie, and he goes, "Hey, what's up?" And Richie's just like, "Fucking Dick Barone." Fucking the fucking guy, he's fucking Dick Barone. And Tony goes, "Well, as long as you two are happy." And it's just like this quick little like zing,
Yeah, it's got like the rhythm of vaudeville in it.
right.
You're right. Yeah, that is a real Laurel and Hardy joke.
As long as you two are happy. It's so funny. Speaking
good.
of another great comedy line, I've told you guys one of my favorite, probably my favorite line of The Departed is Alec Baldwin.
Again, we come back to Baldwin.
Yeah, right.
A bevy of Baldwin.
He's like, they're setting up a sting operation, and he's like, just talking like really, really fast at Matt Damon's character, and he's like, "This is gonna be great. This is gonna be great. I'm going outside for a smoke. You want to smoke? You don't smoke, do you? You're one of those fitness nuts. What is it? What are you? One of those fitness nuts? Go fuck yourself."
And he
turns around and leaves.
Immediate.
It's like bang, bang, bang.
There's not a pause in that. It was faster than I thought it was going to be when I finally heard it.
He's got a lot of great lines. That one of them is like, there's so many funny Baldwin lines. He says something like, "You married?" When Matt Damon first gets promoted, he's like, "You married?" The guy's, no. I got a girl though. I'm hoping, soon. And Baldwin goes, "Nah, that's good. That's good. Being married's a good thing. Lets people know you're not a homo.
Jesus Christ.
People see the ring, they think, someone wants to fuck the guy. It's like, like he just leads with, lets people know you're not a homo.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Oh, that's great. No, it's all this to say that everything has been. We got off on a tangent there. Everything's been really good.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying being married.
You're married now, so no one thinks you're a homo.
Nobody thinks I'm a homo.
I can't say that
I'm
with a
still
straight
not sure.
face.
Yeah.
I can't say that word. Oh, it's terrible. It leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
It is really funny.
That's funny.
No, it's great being married, but married life is way better than almost married life. There's no. It's like I keep saying, like, it's so strange because in order for things to go back to normal in our lives, we had to get married.
Yeah, right.
Like we had to get it out
go
of the
through
way.
this whole thing,
Right.
Like just to get back to living normally.
Everything-
because the's not a date that you're working towards
Right,
while you're
yeah,
married,
right.
And now you're just sleeping with someone with your last name, so that's weird.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah.
That's funny. I didn't think about it that way at all.
It's a good thing, man. It's like everything. It's been like since 2 Aprils ago. Like 2 Aprils ago is when I proposed, and like everything happened
Wait,
in
2 Aprils ago?
Yeah, like
Yeah, it's been a while.
it's been a while.
Oh my god.
Yeah, right. That was when I proposed when we were in Boston. Like not this past April, but the April
I remember
before that.
I distinctly remember how Trisha sounded when she says, "Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?"
Yeah. Oh, good. Pro tip: if you're ever going to propose to anybody, get that shit on film. You'll thank yourself later. 10 times
Advice
better.
taken and acted on.
You're gonna appreciate it later. It's important to have it.
Oh, we already have.
Yeah, but it's been so long now that like it just feels like an eternity ago. Even like the wedding feels like an eternity ago now.
Yeah.
It's just so crazy to me that like you have this whole mess and all that stuff happens so quickly. Like her and I moved in together immediately after we got back. We found out we got the apartment and moved in like within 2 or 3 weeks of getting back home. Like, and we had to like figure that all out financially. And, you know, fortunately we had set some money aside for it to make it work, you know, beforehand. So we expected to be like moving in several months later. But it just so happened that the apartment, there was a really good apartment that was available like right then. And, you know, we made it work. So yeah, like it's been very, very busy, like from that point onward.
Yeah, right. You're like
planning
constantly
everything,
working towards something,
and very frustrating. And like you there's nothing that, like I would imagine until you have children, there's nothing that will test your relationship more than that.
Yeah, I would think so.
I'm gonna have children.
Yeah, right. That's the thing. Like, it was just, you know, it was like one big consistent test. It's like the warm up, I think, for like
it is
future strife.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and
we got through it, and everything is just great now. Everything's back to normal.
That's nice.
It's kind of scary in a way because now there's just it's weird.
Now
like,
you're just doing it.
Now we're just doing the thing. Like it's just normal life now. And we talked about this before on the show, probably in the last episode, like the mundaneness of normal everyday life. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Well, it's like,
but that's comforting in a way.
I think so too. Yeah.
everything you do, like as you lead up to getting married, feels like a goal or like there's like a destination kind of thing. And then like I figure once you're married, you're just after all that time of like having an end point. Now it's just like, well, now we just do this till we're dead.
Yeah, like honestly, like there have been more and more times recently, like really ever since I moved in with Aubrey, where like I'll just like, you know, she'll be out on the patio and I'll just step out there with her and sit in the chair with a beer in my hand, and be like, you know what, this is perfect.
Yeah,
this is exactly what I want out of life, and everything is perfect at this moment in time, and that's what it's all about, you know. Just getting to that point where, you know, no worries, nothing. You have someone who loves you unconditionally right next to you, and a beer in your hand. I said that already, but it bears repeating.
No, you're right. There's a thing about that. Like, I just,
you're in a space that you two have custom made to your
specifications, right?
And that's a huge thing. I remember when I first moved out, and it like having my own space where like I had the Stanley Cup poster above my computer. Remember that? And the guitar off to the side and the Genesis hooked up to the TV. I was like. Yeah. This is perfect for my place and time.
This is what I look like as a room.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Right.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really cool to like
feng shui, I Ching, Taekwondo, all that shit.
Yeah, because there's definitely going to come stuff.
Mugu Gai Pan, right?
Right. Yeah. General Tso's chicken, pork egg roll,
happy family.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's it.
Every Chinese place has a happy family on the menu. It's like what, beef, pork, and chicken.
Yeah, it's more. It's like beef, pork, chicken, scallop, and shrimp. It's like the whole fucking mess of it.
Well, shit. Maybe that's why they call it Happy Family, because it's meant for a family to eat it.
Probably.
Yeah.
It's probably like a double thing. I can't imagine any family that is happy being cooked up and served. So I think it's who you're serving it to that's the happy family.
There's some people. I mean, I know this guy who was willing to surrender his leg. So
I didn't say surrender. I said if I lost it in an accident.
The thing is, I know I said this at the
time. They're not just going to chuck it in a garbage heap somewhere. I want to keep that.
You guys do know that exact thing happened, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The guy who had his leg amputated and managed to get them to let him keep it because it was his leg, and then actually had a fucking dinner party.
Yeah, right.
To serve his leg to 4 of his friends. That happened.
I want to know what the results were of that. I want to know how it tasted.
I believe it was not great, but it wasn't bad. But I can't remember.
Okay. Human is tough. It's very gamey.
It's just like
it's a leg, It's
like a dry chicken breast. Like, yeah, it fills you up, and the barbecue sauce is great, but it's still dry.
Yeah,
and it's just chicken.
I think it would not be a choice. It would not be a choice thing to eat, but it wouldn't be terrible.
Right. Like you could do it if you needed to. Yeah.
Sure. Exactly.
Yeah. Through it. Yeah. Anyway, no, it's you're right. It is. There's something about being able to decorate a space together.
Yeah,
that's both of your thing, because you're gonna have lots of disagreements, and sometimes you don't agree on the way that you want. You have to compromise on certain things. You know what I mean?
I have not, because I accepted pretty quickly that Aubrey is a lot better at decorating.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
She's way better at. I don't think I would ever give a shit about like. I mean, you remember my apartment. I hung a few posters up, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
Aubrey goes all out, and I'm just really excited to see what she does every time a holiday rolls around.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. It's much easier when you have someone who's smarter and better at stuff than you are. They kind of just have it. And I keep telling her once every few months, I'll look at her and I'll be like, "Hey, this place that we're sleeping in looks more and more like a place that people live in every day. It looks like a home where people enjoy themselves,
right?
Which is so weird, because I've never been used to that. It's been very bare bones.
Yeah. Well, it's funny we're talking about this, because that has been one of the central things about this house that I feel like Christy has been attempting to gradually change and get me to change.
Yes.
Is because she has said it before more than once. Is I feel like you moved into this place and it never became your place. And I'm like, yeah, I guess so. Cause there's pink tile in the bathroom and weird vaginal wallpaper in the bedroom.
Nice.
Things that I definitely didn't decide to do.
Yeah.
We pulled up the carpet at the end of last year. That was super cool.
You said, oui, oui.
Oui, oui.
Oui, oui.
Oui, oui. Oui, oui.
Oui, oui. If I pulled up the carpet.
If you know what I'm saying.
We renovated oui, oui. Anyway.
So stupid.
We did pull up the carpet at the end of last year. That was great.
Yeah.
That made the living room 10 times nicer to be in.
Yeah.
And we're eventually going to do stuff in the dining room. And I don't know what else, but that's her thing, is just why don't we make this a house like that we want it to be, instead of just what you moved into that's already here.
A box. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like a box with walls and a ceiling. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's super important. You already did a lot, dude. Like you put the shelves up. You have the new lamps up now.
Yeah, a little bit here, a little bit there.
Yeah.
Probably the next things we'll want to do is put in a dishwasher which we can do. We can easily do.
Yeah. Yes.
Get it and install a permanent dishwasher. We can put in tile in the dining room, so it's not the last bit of yellow carpeted shit in the house. We can do that.
You'll be amazed how much less people sneeze in your apartment when the carpet's up.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, apartment.
Yeah, or apartment, your house.
Do you know that they make specific paint for tile that looks really good on it, that dries to it really nicely, and that you could totally put that over that fucking ugly ass pink tile in my bathroom and not have to retile the whole room?
Nice.
Oh, God.
Yeah, just make it white tile, and all of a sudden you have a nice room you want to be in.
Yeah, right.
So we have ideas.
You have an aggressively 1970s elderly person
old
bathroom.
lady bathroom.
Yeah, like it's
Yeah.
aggressively old.
It's very old.
So does my dad. Just moved into a new house too, and he's got two aggressively old people bathrooms, like aggressively old,
Do they have like big steel handrails?
bright pink. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like bright.
Pink thing. Why the pink thing?
I don't know.
A bowl of seashells on the toilet tank.
Yeah,
One of those boxes covered in seashells, and you open it up, and there's more seashells in it. It's like, why the fuck did anyone do this? Why was everything made of seashells?
Could have left me a hustler or something. I mean, I'm gonna be in here for like a good half hour.
You can't just jack off to these seashells. Jesus.
I mean, I've tried. You can't.
You can't do it.
It's horrible. They're coarse and they're rough and they get everywhere. What? Sorry.
All right. Oh, anyway, yeah, no, I think that was a thing. The pink bathroom,
Yeah.
and the like the seashell thing, the seashell theme, like
Yeah.
oceanic theme. I don't know. It's so bad.
See, Trish is into the nautical thing, but we have a lot more like. It's not just seashells. It's you know what I mean.
It's,
No, no,
it's
no.
like grizzled sea captain type
Okay,
stuff.
so like what looks really great is like anchors and lighthouses.
Lots of anchors,
and,
lighthouses.
and the waves themselves.
We have
imagery of the ocean.
She went to Pat Catan's when we were buying shit for the wedding. That gigantic wooden boat.
Yeah.
that's on my tchotchke shelf now.
that shit
Yeah.
looks fucking great.
There's a big difference between like a beach theme and a nautical theme.
Yeah,
Yes.
I agree.
And that's what the difference is. I
Yeah.
think.
Ours is very nautical.
Yeah.
yeah.
Dude. Pro tip for everybody listening. Pop a poplar in your mouth when you come to Fishy Joe's. What it's made of is a mystery. Where it comes from, no one knows. You can eat them, you can cheat them, you can something. If you promise not to sue us, you can stick one up your nose. It's a Futurama joke. I'm sorry.
Nice.
It's an old Futurama
It's a
joke.
good one.
Oh God.
No,
Well.
real talk, like early recommendation for everybody: get yourselves a tchotchke shelf. If you don't have a
Yeah.
tchotchke shelf in your house, get yourself a tchotchke
All
shelf.
we have is tchotchke shelves.
Does my bookshelf that's full of
Yes.
Aubrey's Funko Pops
Yes,
count?
exactly. That's what are they if not tchotchkes?
They are
for the modern
tchotchke.
age.
Yeah.
They're the tchotchke you
Tchotchkes for
collect.
nerds.
Yeah.
They're beanie babies for modern tchotchke
Hell
nerds.
yeah, dude! I got Funko
babies.
Pops. I've got stuffed animals. I have my Harry Potter wand that we bought at the Wizarding World of Harry Potter.
Yeah.
I went to Ollivander's wand shop. Humble brag. Bought my wand. I have the Master Sword from Zelda, which is super cool. That was
Sweet.
Krista and Ethan, our friends Krista and Ethan, bought us the Master Sword.
So cool.
It's fucking rad. It's like to scale. Like I have a legit Master Sword on my tchotchke shelf.
Yeah.
Dope AF.
It's like the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah. Get a tchotchke shelf. It's super cool.
Yeah.
And you could, I guess, put more important stuff on there, but why would you do that?
Why would you do that instead of just cover it with tchotchkes?
Yeah.
When I think about you, I tchotchke's shelf.
Ah, tchotchke. Dave, how are you doing?
So, the State of the Dude. I don't even know how I want to put. Well, okay. Big updates since last year is Christy moved in.
Yeah, right.
So that's a huge change.
Yes.
So we now both live here, which is cool. It has.
Which is horrible. I hate it.
The thing is, it has been absolutely not difficult at all to get used to.
Yeah.
Because we already spent so much time
Yes.
together here.
That was
it's-
my experience. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Like at some point, you just get to like where living together is.
Makes more sense.
Yeah, it's just easier.
Yeah, right.
It's there have been a little adjustments, but for the most part, it's been pretty good.
Yeah.
Little Adjustments is my rap name.
Little adjustments.
Little adjustments.
No, that's good, man. And the thing is, like, if you're with someone when you're with someone who you want to be with, and if you're with someone, that you're supposed to be with, it shouldn't be that difficult.
Yeah, I think that's true.
And that's not to say that things won't get hard at some point.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? Boners. But yeah, like my experience was largely the same. It was really easy to transition to an Indian woman.
I was gonna say, as soon as you said transition, my ears went up. What is he gonna say? Well, first of all, congratulations. You're very brave.
Indian woman.
Yeah, no, I don't know. It's been pretty good.
It's me.
Good.
I already mentioned we've been looking at different ways to improve this house and different projects to take on. One of the cool things we did recently was making those little LED lamps. Like, they're not like they're like not even that complicated.
Yeah, but they're super cute.
But they look great.
They look cool, and it was like a thing that we spent like a Saturday doing, and I went, okay, this is cool. It's
really fun.
We like the way it looks, and it's like just a fun project to do together. And like, I don't know, I think that's the best part of that is like doing things together that have lasting results, like planting mums in the front yard or like little things like that, where it's like
you can see the.
Yeah, we start to build up a thing that, is our shared vision for this house.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Trisha and I are both shoppers, so we're like our big like outings are like going out and buying either new stuff for the house or like going out and getting dinner together.
Yeah.
There's a balance there. You got to have your own personal time, which is literally what Tuesday night is.
Yeah, right.
For both of us, I think. But yeah, like it's really nice to just have, Trish and I very often don't have the same days off. So it's really nice to get together and have those.
Yeah, right.
Like enjoying each other's company.
Yeah. We tend to have like all the evenings together.
Yeah.
But like sometimes it'll be like, oh, we're together around 6 o'clock. And sometimes it's, oh, well, we're not together until like 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
We have a few hours before.
Right. That's usually for us is like 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, which is not
rough.
much time.
No, it sucks. And you know what? That all boils down to either like getting off my ass and like finding a job where it's 9 to 5, or like that's on my. That would definitely help. That's on my end. Yeah. But yeah, it's you gotta be able to go out and do stuff together. Whether that's just like crafty stuff, which we got to do some crafty Halloween stuff. She already started. Like she got the cricket for Christmas last year. The cry cut.
Oh yeah,
the craft maker thing.
Yeah.
So
the paper
she's
cutter.
already started like building our Halloween decorations for us, which is super cool. We have like lots of little wall stickies and stuff that she just built, which is really sweet. Yeah, you gotta have that relationship time. You know what I'm saying.
I think I do.
Are you saying Okay. All right. Hey, you're getting married too, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, for in another 2 years or so.
Gonna get so married.
Oh, you're so fucking married, dude.
So fucking married.
Think about how fucking married you're gonna be.
Married as fuck.
We've been talking about our lists that we want to have for people we're going to invite, and it's looking like it's going to be smaller than we originally not feared, but kind of feared. Okay. It's going to be smaller than we thought at first.
What's your gut feeling on how many you're going to?
That's not a bad thing.
No, it isn't.
Trust me.
Right. Yeah, we don't want it to be too big. What we're looking at is maybe 250.
Whoa.
Well, that's a big wedding.
That's bigger than my wedding was.
Yeah. A lot of that's her side of the family.
Yes.
But I know a lot of people too are not going to be attending the ceremony as well.
Right.
It's going to be a pagan ceremony. And it's going to be something something unique for the both of us.
Does it involve a tree?
It's going to be outdoors for sure.
I always feel like they involve trees. Like they wrap things around trees, right?
What we're going to be wrapping stuff around is our hands.
Right.
The bonding ceremony.
Yeah, the hand fasting.
I'm gonna be doing is wrapping my dick up. You know what I'm saying?
Yo,
For tonight. Woo! I'm sorry, Aubrey.
I was gonna say there's an apology coming.
Sorry, Aubrey.
the kind of segueing into an additional State of the Dude-ian.
State of the Dude Onion.
Dude onion. I want to double check what my stat is on this. I am at 130 because this is important to me.
Okay.
I currently on Duolingo I'm at 137 consecutive days.
Wow.
Working on 3 different languages.
Yeah, that is pretty intense.
It's rewarding.
I couldn't keep 3 weeks going. I eventually just pooped out, and now I don't care.
Yeah.
Shit. How would I say this? I don't know how I would say that. How to include 2 verbs in a sentence yet? I was gonna say I like learning Japanese in Japanese, but I don't know how to put 2
I like
words.
to learn.
Yeah.
Is there an infinitive form in Japanese?
There is, but it also doubles as like the present tense and future tense verb.
Oh.
Like I will learn, or I am learning, or I learn. Yeah, so I don't know how to include 2 verbs in a sentence yet. So
okay.
I assume I'll get to that later. But
Sure.
But Nihongo ga suki desu. I like Japanese.
Me also, Gilgamesh.
Garugamesh.
Gilgamesh.
And мне нравится русский язык.
Ah,
And
that's French.
Yeah. Raditz from Dragon Ball Z.
and yo amo español.
Right. That is, I enjoy German.
So I'm learning 3 the Spanish. I learned a bit in high school. I took 3 years of Spanish in high school, and
I smoked all that away years ago.
I'm finding it the easiest to recall because we hear so much Spanish colloquially in the U.S. And the sentence structure also is the most familiar.
And the cognates.
Yeah,
And the
the
cognates are gonna be a huge plus with all the Romance languages.
Right. Emocionado is excited, emotional.
Right.
Cumpleaños for birthday. You know,
That's the combination dinner too.
Hi, Bob.
Yeah, the culmination of years, cumpleaños.
Oh yeah.
Cumpleaños
so, like,
feliz.
Cumpleaños feliz. Cumpleaños felices.
Cumpleaños
Like 1, 2.
And
Anymore on Channel 4 and Scooby-Doo on Channel 2. Yeah.
what we just sang was, of course, the German national anthem.
Right.
You're right. Written in Russia, strangely.
And then so fun fact about Russians and Germans. So like the way you say German is different in every single language. Of course in German it's Deutsche.
We say German.
In Japanese it's Deutsche.
Yeah.
Which, you know, is close enough.
The French say what? Allemand?
Allemand. Yeah. In Russian it's Niemiecki to describe something German. Niemiecki.
Huh.
And the reason for that is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, what is that?
Because ancient Slavs, right, and ancient Germans
Squatting in their caves.
squatting in their caves, drinking Baltica.
Smoking ancient cave Marlboros.
No, so they like ran into one another, right? Like Eastern, you know, the Slavs of Eastern Europe and the Germans. What are the Proto-Germans? They're not Gauls because that's like Northern French.
The
Franks.
Well, you would have called them
Teutons.
Teuton. No.
Tommy Teuton.
Tommy Teuton. What do we call him here in
Ich habe deine Nummer. So anyway,
no, there was something I can't think of it. Doesn't matter.
So anyway, those two peoples met, and the Russians immediately were like, "Why can't these fucking morons speak Slavic?" And so, in archaic Russian, Niemiecki meant dumbass.
No,
like stupid.
Are you serious?
Yeah, like nye. Like, you know,
no.
Yeah, like you can see this in modern Russian. Umiet is to know how to do something. Like ya umieю читать. I know how to read.
Okay.
So you know that miet, that kind of root. You combine that with nye miet ski to make it an adjective. So
No
basically,
shit.
like, you know, brainless people, like, why can't these dumbasses speak Slavic? and that's the archaic.
That's my people.
That is the archaic translation of it. It's super archaic. It doesn't mean that anymore. It just means German.
That's amazing.
And the nation itself of Germany, because it's a fairly recent creation, is Germania.
Germania. That's a lot nicer.
Pretty straightforward, yeah. But to refer to a German person or the German language, you say Niemiecki, Niemieckaja.
Wow, I had no idea.
Yeah, it's weird, but yeah. So no, I'm up to like 130 some days, like a third of a year, for practicing 3 languages.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And I've started learning Norwegian, and Aubrey already knows this. I started trying to learn some basic Norwegian so I can learn some like sentence structure, syntax, so that when I deliver my vows, I can deliver them in Norwegian.
Oh, that's cool.
Because we're doing like an Odinist wedding. It's going to be her patron is Thor. So I want to deliver my vows in Norwegian. I figure, like, you know, 2 years to learn some basic Norwegian.
Plenty of time.
Yeah,
I can do that. I can do that. It's so similar to English too. The Norwegian, Dutch, I think I told you guys, is very, very similar to English.
I didn't realize
in terms of Dutch is, if you're a native English speaker,
Dutch,
unlike me, if you're a native English speaker,
Yeah.
Dutch is supposedly one of the easiest languages to learn, and I tried it. You know, so like really early on, you get sentences like "Ik drink melk," I drink milk. You know, like
okay.
it's that similar. Mm-hmm. The sentence structure is the same. A lot of the words are very similar. But yeah, so I'm really excited about learning these languages. That's part of my State of the Union. The other part is I've been getting into Counter-Strike. I've been getting into Counter-Strike competitively. I have a rank now.
Oh, right. Okay, so the Counter-Strike thing is not necessarily new, but where you are in competitive may be new news.
you plan on doing your wedding during a Counter-Strike match.
Yeah. I plan on doing my honeymoon during a Counter-Strike match. I'll just set a laptop up on her back and just... No,
No, that's
No,
terrible.
that's way too much work. It's gonna get way too hot on her back.
I know.
It's gonna fall off.
It's going to fuck my aim all up. So...
And that could be taken several different ways. What? Phrasing? Woo!
Phrasing.
What is happening?
This was supposed to be a nice, relaxing episode.
So no, I got my rank recently. I've got 12 ranked wins so far. I need 10 to get a rank, and I've won 2 more matches after that. I'm Gold Nova 1, which is around average.
Yeah.
That's around where I expected to place.
Okay.
And I've been having a lot of fun with it.
Nice.
Just having Prime, which you get if you automatically have it if you bought the game before it went free to play.
Yes. Right.
But you can also pay $15 to get it.
Right. Which is not a lot to...
No, but it matches you up with other Prime players as opposed to, like, you know, people who are just getting the game free and might be cheating or might be
The
assholes.
mouth-breathing masses.
You're right. And I've been having fun with it. People are pretty cool. I ran into one match where you know, 2 people on my team were obviously cheating and, like, you know, bragging about it. And so I was like, okay, just going to report these guys, move on.
Yep.
Right.
The other team surrendered and I felt bad.
Yeah,
But-
the right thing to do is to report those guys.
Report them, move on, just
Yeah.
act like they're not even there. but overall, it's been a pretty good experience, honestly. Like I've been practicing. I do aim practice here and there, and it feels good to like be building this skill.
Yeah.
In a shooter that isn't Call of Duty, where you can't just like aim down the sights and everything goes to the center of the screen every time. It takes a bit more effort than that. So that's been fun. Can we do someone else's like continuation of the State of the Union? Because I've got a pee.
Okay, is that what's going on right now?
Yeah.
I'm.
Yeah, all right.
I'll pick it up here. I'm trying to play more music again. I think we all are, right?
Yeah.
Like that's kind of like.
So that is the latest Thursday night initiative.
Yeah.
Is
Like
getting
whenever
people over
we
here to
can.
play music.
Yeah, or like I don't know. Like, that's kind of a fun thing. Like
Yeah.
you and I certainly don't play nearly as much as I should. And I don't think I'm great, but I'm at least okay at
You're pretty good.
playing the guitar. I'm pretty good. I'm okay.
You're pretty solid.
I'm like, but that's the problem. If I buckled down and focused, I could be so much better.
Yeah, that might be true. But like, who can you not say that about?
Sure.
You're never ever where you want to be.
Yeah,
No one
I
is.
heard an interview with one of my favorite guitar players ever, is Jeff Beck, who can just get sounds out of that instrument that it just doesn't seem possible.
Yeah,
you know
right.
what I mean? But I heard him interviewed one time a couple years back, and the dude's like almost like I think in his 70s at this point.
Yeah.
And he said, "I'm like 30% of where I want to be with
Right.
the guitar."
Yeah,
like he's he's one of those dudes who's just playing. He just picks up the guitar compulsively every day and just plays,
Right.
and is always trying to get better and has.
Yeah.
I don't think he's ever like you hear guys like Clapton talk about when they were at their peak, and they're talking like in the 90s.
Yeah,
You hear
right.
Clapton always said he peaked like in the early 90s. And that was when he was at the height of his playing. All these guys talking about like their prime. Jeff Beck has like continued to get better the older he got somehow.
Yeah.
Because that dude can wail. Oh my
Yeah.
God. So it's super cool to like, get back together and start making music again. And like, I was never very good at like playing with other people.
Neither was I. Realistically.
Yeah, you had a band though. You were super cool.
Well, I had a band, but I didn't. A lot of that was a democratic process. I was not
Sure.
inherently good at that. I followed the lead quite often.
Sure. Well, that's what a rhythm player does, right? Like
guess so, yeah.
You wrote a bunch of rhythm licks for that group, right?
Yeah,
So like,
I wrote a lot of my parts, but
yeah,
still.
that's your job. After you follow the drummer,
Yeah.
and then the bass player, bass player follows the drummer, rhythm guitarist follows the bass player and the drummer, and the lead goes over top of that, right? Like that's
I guess so.
kind of like
I don't, honestly, I don't know how it works.
yeah. I guess I don't either, but.
I mean, we're gonna try and figure it out again, though. That's the joy of the whole thing.
I don't want to get upset about it. Like I kind of just want to relax and play.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun the first Thursday where we got together and played. Like
A big thing is just trying to relax and realize that no matter what happens, something exists that didn't exist before you started.
exactly right.
That's all that actually matters. And
so-
a lot of those things will not be great, but some of them will. And you just wait for the right thing to come along.
My problem was that, and it took. I'm finally there. Like my biggest issue, I think, was learning to be able to take it easy, start slow, and just kind of build. And I told Dan that when we were talking at work, I said, I'm gonna buckle down and just we're gonna play slow. We're gonna go simple, slow, and steady, and just.
It's about listening to the rest of the room. That's the hardest part, is just like listening to what's happening and finding your place in it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hard for me because like when I'm practicing by myself or playing by myself, I'm kind of just ripping, you know what I mean? Like, I do a lot of improv kind of shit.
But you're playing with a lot of people that are actually beneath your skill level. Which is fair. It's how it is. So that also, I mean,
yeah, but because of that, you guys are easier at finding the rhythm than I am.
well, what that means is we can never find something on the level that you're playing on.
Sure, but you're able to start at the basics more than I am because I'm not used to playing with other people. like I said, I think I am probably the most skilled guy in the room, but that doesn't mean that I'm good at finding my place.
Yeah, we're developing a shared musical language right now.
Yeah.
which is I think the real purpose of jamming is to
Right.
develop a shared musical language.
Yeah.
Something that everyone can get in on.
Christy's really good at that. You're really good at that. You know, because you both played in bands before. Like you were both playing in groups.
No, nothing.
You were making this gesture.
No, it's because you ever have that thing where you touch a cold surface with one part of your skin and you got to do it again on the opposite side?
No, although that's super interesting. Let's stay with that.
So
What? Just show me the first part and then the second.
So
part.
I accidentally bumped my wrist against this part of the thing, and it's a little cold.
Yeah.
So I felt like I kind of had to even it out by touching my
I know exactly what you're talking about now.
my
that you say
opposite
it.
arm against a similarly cold part.
I
guys-
actually know exactly what you're talking
Do you
about.
guys both do that?
I don't do it as often anymore, but I just felt a compulsion to do it. So that's why I was going like this, because I wasn't it wasn't my hand, it was this part of my wrist I was trying to touch to the.
Not with like sensation, like hot cold so much, but with just like touch. I'm very like touch sensitive.
It's more temperature for me.
Really? And it's about symmetry.
Yep. Yeah. If my left arm touches a cold surface, I got to find a way to kind of casually okay, and then just kind of touch my right arm against it.
Yeah, I actually super know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta even it out.
Interesting.
Maybe that's an autism thing.
It definitely
yeah,
is.
maybe we're just
it definitely
super
is.
broken. Yeah. But yeah,
very
I
interesting.
super identify with that. Oh man, there's a cigarette butt over there.
Yes, there is.
All I want to do is just smoke that cigarette butt. Thanks.
Oh, you know.
Thanks,
oh, you
Groovy.
know. What the hell was that scratching sound?
What scratching sound?
The sound just is cutting out.
Oh,
Did you hear that?
no, that might be your headphones.
Oh, maybe it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay. Fuck me then.
No, I think it's going to be fun. It's especially going to be fun now that we have the drum kit there.
Yeah.
That thing is so cool.
Man, I'm super glad I went in there. I didn't even really spend that much money on it. I spent money
Yeah.
on the protection plan.
Yeah.
Because I'm like a warranty guy.
Yeah.
And I spend a little bit extra money on the drum set. But like,
it's good to get the warranty on something that you hit with sticks all the time.
and that's what he told me. He started like doing the sales pitch thing, like, and the guy I talked to was really good and super nice and like genuinely wanted to help me, which is always really appreciated.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But like he told me, he's like, dude, like anything electronic. He said, they're really supportive if you have any like troubleshooting questions. He's like, we do have our own warranty, and I was like, you don't have to do the pitch. Like I'm there.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do it because it's all electronic. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking do it.
Right.
Because I want you guys to fix anything that breaks on this.
Yeah.
So.
yeah, right. Which is not out of the question that will happen.
No, I think this is really gonna bring everything together. And then plus, like, I've always wanted to learn how to play the drums.
Yeah.
Like forever. I have a keyboard too, and I'm going to learn how to play keys. And there's lots of places you can go to get lessons for both of those things.
Yeah.
So I think like I'm gonna do it. And
Yeah, it's called the internet.
Yeah, right. I'm a face-to-face kind of guy though.
Yeah.
Although I did teach myself how to play the guitar.
Yeah.
Which, like, I probably learned how to do stuff the wrong way, but I also don't think there's a super wrong way to learn instruments.
As long as the end result sounds good and you're not killing yourself to do it,
Sure.
you haven't learned the wrong way.
No one would try to teach someone else guitar the way Mark Knopfler plays it. That doesn't make it wrong.
Right. What constitutes like classical technique is a best practice, but it's not necessarily what works for everybody, you know?
I was going to take music theory as a major years ago. And part of me was always super sad that I didn't, but I talked to enough music majors that told me you will hate music forever. They told me take the minor.
Yeah.
So I do the minor.
It's music for mathematicians.
Right.
Not all, but many of the people I know that studied music at that level did not care for it. And it did something to music for them that made me sad.
Yeah.
Like,
When you make music into a system, it removes some of the magic about it.
but that's the thing is, on some level, it kind of isn't magic. And I think that's what they found out.
See, I'm a firm believer.
But don't tell me that.
Some of the last purest art forms of music were like, it's like jam style kind of stuff and jazz.
Yeah.
Because jazz is like, there's no
jazz is the Kabbalah mysticism of music.
Yeah.
It's like attempting to take this thing that is very sort of you can quantify and figure it out and attribute it to like basic theory, or you can like rip the veil down and really play with what makes it work in the guts of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then there's Primus.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's the thing is like you could, I think the mediums that often push the boundaries of what music can sound like are the ones that don't necessarily follow the standard, washed down, like whitewashed medical version of what
clinical is the word you're looking for.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, most popular forms of music are not especially daring when it comes to how they engage theory.
Yeah, right.
Most of them, like especially what constitutes pop music or rock music or I guess the most popular music is very, very explicable by like how its theory works.
For you white people at home, look up any analysis of John Coltrane's Giant Steps. That's like the jump off point for white folks. That's it. There's some insane stuff happening in that song.
I don't think I'll ever really understand what's happening in like real great jazz music. I don't think I will. I don't think most people will.
Then the thing is, like, we had this conversation before. It was like you don't have to understand. You just kind of have to take it in.
Sure. But part of what makes it work is that it does something to your brain that your brain gets and you don't.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, you just got to switch off that part of you that is trying to get it and just let your brain get it.
Right, because like I think at the subconscious level, our brain understands a lot about what makes certain patterns work in music. It likes them, even if it doesn't know why, and like how a chord progression resolves feels good for reasons we can't describe. We just know it feels and sounds good.
That's why so many like cool jazz, free jazz, hard bop players.
Yeah,
that's why some of those early like jazz records from that style are so satisfying because they find resolutions to chords that you wouldn't think make sense.
Yeah.
They make sense to your brain only because it sounds right.
Yeah.
But they don't make sense theory wise.
And that real pros actually can explain the theory of why they work. You good?
Yeah, I smacked my can against the thing. I'm sure that made a terrible sound.
Right.
But yeah, no, I think that the people that really understand like again, they're like mystics. Like the people, like jazz musicians on that level are like fucking mystics, and they can understand what they're doing.
Yeah,
that might in ways that might be impossible to explain to most people.
Well, like I said, like Giant Steps is like the jump off point for like normal white folks trying to like get into like what the white perception of what jazz is, right? Like the average Joe perception of jazz music. Because it sounds like jazz, right? Like
right.
I would also add Dave Brubeck's Time Out to that.
Time Out, and Time Further Out. The second one's really good too.
It introduces you to a very basic concept of jazz. What if it wasn't 4/4 time? What if it was some other weird fucking time signature?
5/8.
And then it introduces you to this whole. It's like, all right,
it's really like if you watch the analysis of some of those songs, like Giant Steps, Coltrane's bouncing around. He's playing the circle of fifths in a pattern, but he's playing it in a pattern that doesn't make sense. He's like going from here to here, which makes sense, and then he goes to here, and then he goes to here.
So he makes a pentagram of fifths and summons Satan.
It's like he's following the standard. Like it starts out as a standard circle, and then he goes here, and then he jumps to that pattern again on the opposite side, and he just makes a circle all the way around the circle of fifths, which is fucking crazy and shouldn't sound good.
Yeah.
But he managed to do it, which is like why if you listen to that record, he sounds like he's way ahead of the people who are playing on the record with him.
Yeah.
Like Tommy Dobeck is just trying to keep the beat behind him because he's just, all over the place with his changes. Like, sorry, I just got off on like weird tangent there.
No, that's
music's
cool,
fun. I'm really excited that we're going to be playing music. It's going to be fun.
I think it's cool too. I don't know. We've been kind of having little sort of attempts at this here and there for a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's nice that we're making it a little bit more concrete that this is something we want to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even if it just arises, like nothing else comes from it other than we get to hang out and make some stuff sound good together, then,
I keep waiting for this moment with guitar. Like, I don't know. My brother told me this years ago. He told me this is when he was like kind of just learning guitar.
Yeah.
And he was kind of struggling. And then he had this dream. He had this dream that his hand was a spider, right? And it was crawling across the frets as he was playing. And it was the way that it moved was like graceful, I guess. I don't know how.
Yeah.
He didn't say this. This is how I'm trying to explain what he was doing with his hands.
Yeah.
And it was like,
look what I'm doing with my hands, though.
like a fucking
Fucking field mouse.
So
nobody knows what that is.
he wakes up, he plays guitar for a couple of days, and he realizes he's like articulating his notes with his left hand better and faster and more fluidly than he was before he had this dream.
He had the moment, yeah.
He had a moment, right? Which is this is a thing that happens with people when they're learning anything. They will occasionally have moments where they will leapfrog ahead.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you not had the moment?
I don't think I ever did.
That's a thing. The moment
think I ever did.
I was listening to Jimi Hendrix play the solo to Hey Joe. I was listening to Hey Joe.
Yeah.
And, just like in my room, just sitting there listening to Hey Joe. And I was like learning my scales at the time. And I realized where he was at on the fretboard. And I realized that I could duplicate it. And then I did without knowing the solo. Like looking up like either the written shape notes or the tablature to it. I just figured out with my brain where he was at and how he was able to get those sounds, knowing the small little, like where the bends are, where the hammer-ons are.
Yeah.
And then knowing the box that he was in to play the solo. That was my moment. I was like, oh shit, I can do this. This is what he's doing. This is doable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it just clicked.
This has not happened for me.
Taught me how to solo.
I don't think it will actually.
If
If it hasn't for the last how long have I been playing guitar?
that's super untrue.
Like 12 years.
That's super untrue.
Like 12 years of playing guitar. If it hasn't happened yet, it's probably not going to.
There's musicians who like started way late.
Yeah.
Who got super better the older they got.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, you'll get there. It's like if you want to, like you'll get the moment. Dude, big good tip is like play other people's shit. Right. That helps. Just sit down and try and work stuff out. That's basically how I intend to teach myself the drums. So
yeah,
we'll figure that shit out.
Yeah.
Do we have anything else for the State of the Union?
No, I think we kind of it was a nice coasting kind of episode.
Yeah. I think a lot of stuff that I would otherwise have said was already covered in Why I'm Fucked.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's why it made perfect sense to just continue here. As the other topics I was going to pick were going to be way too fucking heavy for tonight. So didn't want to go down that road. You don't want to go down that road.
Yeah. Let's just talk about times when we wept deepest and saddest. I actually would love to do that topic.
Yeah, we will at some point.
But you're right. This was not the night for it.
It was not.
Yeah, certainly not.
Anyway.
We'll be back with smoking and drinking.
Yes, we'll be back with smoking and drinking.
Yeah.
It's coming back.
Coming back. We're bringing it
Coming
back.
back.
Steelers and Dolphins.
Da, 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 yeah, da, da, da. Yeah, da, 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 da. Suck my dirty balls.
Peter.
Welcome back to Seinfeld. I'm Jerry. Yeah.
Welcome back to
I'm George, right?
Yeah.
I'm George, without a doubt. Am I George?
Oh, that's me. Jerry.
George.
I guess I'm Elaine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay.
I got the same dance skills, right?
Yeah. The little kicks. That was a good one. Oh my God.
I know just enough about Seinfeld to joke about it.
Here's another Seinfeld episode I don't know if you know about. Elaine gives out a Christmas card to everyone.
Oh, yeah.
She's all excited about it. She got a picture of herself taken for a Christmas card and put it on a card and gave it to all of her friends. And Jerry is looking at it going, wait, this is the one? And she goes, yeah. And he goes, huh. And she goes, what's wrong? And he goes, I believe that's a nipple.
Right. The nip slip episode, yeah. What?
Yeah, and the thing is, it turned out he was absolutely right, and she had to go and try to get it back from her pervert nephew.
Oh my God.
I was like, she had to go around and making her rounds to get her Christmas card away from all the people she gave it to. That was a really funny episode.
Yeah. I can't believe you never watched. You should watch Seinfeld. Seinfeld is really
to watch,
funny.
apparently.
Still really funny.
No more quotable sitcom exists.
Ever.
What other sitcom could take a phrase like "take the pen" and make it an eternally memorable moment? You know,
No soup for you.
yeah, just really.
Yeah, I really can't.
Gosh. Anyway,
Really
that's why I'm going to recommend Seinfeld. Just kidding.
Boom, boom, boom. Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom,
I'm sorry, we're not going to do this again.
But that said, it is time. It is time
It is time.
for recommendations, isn't it?
It sure is, buddy. Who wants to start this week? I will. I'm going to recommend an album.
Thank you.
I'm going to recommend an album this week.
Nice.
The album I'm going to recommend is one that I'm sure you've both listened to in your lives, and I'm sure a lot of people listening to have listened to in their. Let me take that back. A lot of people listening have listened to in their lives. It's Goodbye Yellow Brick Road by Elton John.
What a great album.
I have
The
listened to that.
second record, Elton John record that I've recommended on this podcast.
That's such a good one.
You should check that out. It's one of the staples of classic rock.
Yeah.
It's like one of the top 100 greatest records ever written. Super good. Top to bottom, that album just fucking kicks ass.
Do you remember the
Filled with
liner
hits.
notes for that?
I do remember the liner
The
notes.
liner notes were incredible because they were very artistic.
Yeah.
Every page had its own sort of theme of the artwork and the lyrics were written out in it, if I remember
Yes.
correctly.
Yeah, right.
And they had very unique aesthetics. There's images in it that are the opening track is Funeral for a Friend. Love Lies Bleeding.
Yeah, what a blistering way to open up a record. I'm a big fan of opening the record with a bang, and that record opens with a bang.
Yeah, and the imagery around it is all stained glass.
Yeah,
and big,
right.
biblical, big imagery.
Yeah, Benny and the Jets, if I recall, is super posh,
Yeah, there's
new wavy looking.
a woman in a mohair
suit.
jacket.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, there's stuff like that. There's what Roy Rogers is the one that closed the album, and it's
Right.
got all cowboy stuff.
Yeah, really, really cute. Yeah,
Yeah.
and even the CD had it, but if you're gonna do it, you got to flip open the actual LP
Yeah.
and take a look at the liner notes for that.
It's a great album.
Yeah, like I said, I'm a big fan of an album that opens with a bang, and "Funeral for a Friend" is certainly that bang.
Yeah.
Nice. Funeral for a Friend was if I recall correctly, was something that he wrote. He was trying to come up with music that he would want played at his funeral. And then Topin wrote "Love Lies Bleeding."
Okay.
Topin wrote, basically all of the good Elton John lyrics. Right? Yeah, fucking that song cooks too. The guitar riff for that,
Yes, it does.
Fucking cooks, right?
Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
I'm doing it very poor justice. No, but it's cool. Benny and the Jets is on that record.
it is.
Candle in the Wind. It's fucking great, dude.
What's the one? There's what's the fourth track? I can't remember what the shit. I would like to see the track list for this if you could find it.
Yeah, let's pull it up.
This is one of those ones that they used to have the record club where you would get 3 CDs
Yes.
or whatever for the month. And so my dad did that when I was a kid, and like one of the first albums I got was the Police's Greatest Hits, which was super cool. And this was another one. And I want to say Queen Greatest Hits 1 and 2 was in there.
Yeah, the Red and Blue album. Yeah,
a lot of stuff.
Goodbye Yellow Brick Road is track 4.
Okay,
the song with no title, Gray Seal, Jamaica Jerk Off.
The song has no title. It's one of my favorite songs
Super
ever.
Good. Yeah, yeah. Top to bottom, Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting. There's so many fucking just classic tracks on this record.
Yeah, right.
Elton John had like I don't think he did a bad record, but this is like certainly like the highlight of that. So.
It's the only full record of his that I know.
Yeah, right.
It really is.
Really like Madman Across the Water, Philadelphia Freedom.
This is the only one I know beginning to end.
Okay.
The only one I listened to over and over.
Don't Shoot Me, I'm Just the Piano Player.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. I'm a big Elton John fan. So, yeah, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road is like a classic.
Yeah.
So I definitely recommend that you go out and check that one out. It's a staple of classic rock radio.
The artwork has him sort of like he's like on the street and he's going into a poster. If I remember correctly.
Right.
He's like walking a dog into a poster.
Iconic album
of
cover.
The Road to Oz kind of thing.
Right. Like super iconic album cover. Yeah. Check it out. It's one of the greatest rock albums ever written. It's worth several listens over and over again.
Yeah.
Dave, would you like to tell us what your recommendation is?
I would. So you guys probably may have guessed already what I want to talk about, but I finally finished playing Undertale.
Yeah, there you go.
Which was recommended to me by both of you guys intensely and by the entire internet, as far as I could tell. Undertale is a game that everyone seemed to love.
Yeah.
And I played like an hour of it with you guys and then stopped like 2 years ago. So I'm not sure what. No, I do know what made me want to do it was that I saw recently the Epic Game Store does a thing now where it's like a free game every now and then, right?
Yeah.
They kind of throw it away. And
because they're desperate to get customers off Steam.
I do think they are. One of the ones that they gave away recently and that I got was a game called Minute, which is really interesting. It's a black and white game with pixelated graphics. It's a platformer, and everything happens in 60-second intervals. So you start, you go out and do stuff, and then you die. And you respawn at your house for another 60-second interval, which is actually kind of fun and cute.
Yeah.
You play this little guy running around with like big duckbill looking guy who like gets a sword and a watering can and these different tools that he uses. And
watering can. Sorry.
And
I don't know what the fuck that is.
The ultimate goal is to destroy the big evil factory that is taking over the town or whatever. I don't know. And that was fun. But playing it got me thinking, gosh, I should really pick up Undertale.
Yeah.
And for that reason, I did. And I just want to say the hype was not overstated. It is that good.
It's really good. Yeah.
That game is that good. And I forgot how much fun it was, honestly.
It's really cute and endearing and written well.
Funny.
Really funny.
It's surprisingly funny.
Yeah.
There's moments where like little things like you realize that you can seduce a living jet plane.
Yeah, right.
which is literally the plot of a Chuck Tingle novel.
Yeah, right.
But is also absolutely a way to fight a plane in this game, which is really funny.
Fuck yeah.
I kept being surprised. There's lots of good little gags. There was a moment where you encounter the other kid, the kid that follows you around for part of the game, and when he sees you, he goes, "You're a kid too, right?" "Yeah, of course you are. You're wearing a striped shirt."
Yeah, right.
And I was like, "Oh yeah." That's the design language that they're giving to me.
Right.
Striped shirt equals kid, and maybe always does.
It's like lots of little side stuff, like the conveniently shaped lamp that you get to hide behind.
That's so funny. Yeah,
that was really
walk
good.
Right up behind a lamp that is exactly the same shape as you. The two skeletons, Papyrus and Sans, appropriately named after their own like fonts as they speak.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're really great.
Yeah.
The characters are well written and endearing and charming, and there's something a little bit magical about that game.
Greater dog and lesser dog.
Yeah, right.
Okay, there's the moment where you're walking around looking at all the snow piles. Do you remember? There's
Yeah.
like, oh, it's a snow poof and another snow poof. And then you walk up and the little dog sticks its head out of the ground.
Yeah.
And you go, oh, cute. And then stands up, and it's a gigantic suit of armor with a tiny little dog.
Greater dog.
Yeah. And that moment is so... I laughed out loud when I saw that. I could not believe how funny it was.
Greater dog.
Yeah. So anyway, without spoiling anything, it's
funny as fuck.
That game keeps surprising you all the way up to the end.
Super full of heart, man.
And now I'm realizing that it's a game you should play through more than once.
Right, absolutely. Yeah.
So that would be my recommendation is don't be a dummy like me and wait 2 years to do it. Play Undertale.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah.
Great rack. Ben, what's your recommendation?
My recommendation is something I listened to, God, like high school maybe? It's I'm just gonna come around and say it. It's fucking Dream Theater.
Oh, hell yeah.
And
My dad is a huge Dream Theater fan.
yeah,
Yeah, he is.
Oh, because I just re-listened to the entirety of Metropolis Part 2.
Yes.
Okay.
And fucking got way into it. Like it took me back to like 15 years ago, and I was really like way into it. So Metropolis Part 2.
What the fuck is she laughing
some
at?
laughter from Christy there. Just doesn't approve of my taste in prog rock. So anyway,
Guess not.
So anyway, so if you never listened to Metropolis Part 2, it's a concept album involving like past life regression and like there's like a murder mystery and like a romance leading to murder type thing.
Okay.
It takes a bit of effort to kind of follow the plot in much the same way that, you know, I couldn't figure out what the fuck the wall was actually saying until I read a synopsis.
Sure.
When I saw the movie, like it all fell into place.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But it's a concept album involving, you know, a man who discovers a murder in one of his past lives. And just when he thinks he's solved the mystery, it turns out that the truth is something different and altogether more sinister. And it's got one of the creepiest endings to any album I've ever heard. Do you remember how it ends?
No, I don't know. I don't know this one.
Oh, do you not?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I don't think I know either. I know the record, but
Yeah, this is
I don't know this record at all.
This is a really great album. It's something nice to, you know, it's orchestral. It's got a bit of fanfare, you know, in the way that, you know, prog rock concept albums kind of tend to have. But it's got a story to it. There's a
I love the rock opera.
yeah. Oh, it's that category for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, it involves a dude regressing into a past life and stumbling upon like this murder that happened. Like one of his past lives was murdered, and it gets into some really trippy shit, and it ends in one of the most jarring and scary moments that I think I've ever heard from a song.
Yeah.
Dream Theater, Metropolis Part 2, Scenes from a Memory is the full name of the album. If you just type in Metropolis and you'll see the album.
Yeah.
Really great, really jumps around in terms of mood, and there's a whole lot of like bordering on power metal kind of songs.
Okay.
Oh, hell yeah.
That I really, really dig.
That's the Devin Townsend Dream Theater sound. Yeah.
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 Yeah,
Great.
that's the sound, yeah.
Great album. I've listened to it about 3 or 4 times in the past. I've listened to it about 3 or 4 times in the past 2 months, and it's still great.
I think it's funny that you recommended an album and I recommended a game.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I've been playing through Grand Theft Auto 5, and honestly, if at this point, if you know Grand Theft Auto is your thing, you've played it.
Yeah.
I'm just playing through it because it's in my backlog and it's 88 gigs on my hard drive, and I want to get rid of it.
You did an album, you did a game. I should have done a TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been perfect. I fucking failed you all.
How dare you?
How dare.
So,
Yeah, what did we learn, if anything?
capitalism sucks.
I learned that we all want to eat Ben's leg.
Yeah, I'd eat your leg.
It's a good leg.
I learned that life is eating shit.
Yeah, it sure is.
I learned that I need to watch The Sopranos for the 5th or 6th time that I've learned that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you really do, though. It's that good.
Yeah.
I wrote down here, Ben, it's a decent length, Reese.
And solid.
It sure is.
I learned that Seinfeld is timeless.
Yeah. Boom.
I think it is.
I learned that everyone needs a tchotchke shelf.
Yes, you do. Absolutely. I also learned that bass solos are terrifying.
Wait, that what?
Bass solos
Bass
are
solos.
terrifying.
Bass solo.
Bass solo.
I learned that ancient Slavs smoked ancient Marbs.
That's right.
I learned that jazz makes me jizz.
Right. I wrote, actually, I didn't write it, but I meant to write play some music, you dingus.
Yeah, Jengus.
Yeah, Drangus.
Yeah, Drangus.
I'm going to write that now.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
That's about it. I also have fuck China and boners.
There you go. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Fuck China. Boners.
Yeah, two sides of the same dick.
Yeah, but seriously, fuck China.
Two balls of the same sack.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fucking-
China, you won't ban us.
Fucking
Fuck
China.
You won't do it.
Fuck China. I was at Dave Trukowski's house, and they were talking about China.
And I thought this China's terrible.
I thought this China. I don't know who he is, but
I'm gonna find him.
and I'm gonna fucking kill him.
I'm gonna trap him with a pot of honey. I'm gonna murder him.
I'm gonna murder him. I'm gonna fucking kill him. I'm gonna send Mike Pence to his house, and Mike Pence is.
Stayed out in the open with a Speedo. That's what the spies call a honeypot. You seduce them with your hot body.
With your genitals.
With your
with his
genitals.
genitals. I love your Trump impression because it's like half Trump, half Bill Murray from Caddyshack.
It is.
It's so good.
is.
It's a real Cinderella story. Mike Kennedy, see.
Real Cinderella story coming out of nowhere.
Coming out of nowhere, the gems, the failing New York Times.
The failing New York Times. I think he's gonna pull out a 5-iron for this.
Oh God. Anyway, we will
that's
be
that.
back when I don't know, like whenever, man.
Well, we won't be
Fuck
back
it.
next week. We could
Yeah.
be back the week after, but
Maybe.
we probably won't
Maybe
be.
whatever.
Possibly. We'll see.
I don't know.
I don't know. I have a microphone at home somewhere. I'm sure one of us could record something.
I have two
stupid.
turntables.
No, where it's at.
Yeah.
Or I mean, where is it?
Where are
Two
they?
turntables and a microphone?
Well, we have the
Where are they?
Wherefore are
What
they?
is that?
What is that? What is that?
What is that?
What is
All
that?
right,
What
it's
is that?
time to call it an episode.
Fuck off, will you?
Gotta pee.
Yeah, we will see you next time with more of this thing that we keep doing.
Yep. Sorry, it wasn't super funny, but I don't fucking care. It was,
I'll give a shit.
yeah, it was just a nice, relaxing episode for us. So, excuse me.
All right.
We'll see you back next week when we tackle a little subject that we like to call I don't know.
Racism in America.
Right. This is why I'm offended, and this is why I'm oppressed.
Yeah.
Time for the next segment of our show called Racism in America.
Here's what I'm dreading, and here's what I'm whitewashing. Okay.
Anyway, we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.